That's a good intro. Is the your CCP and CC your CPT and CCPT time. Oh, I gotta mute my TV.
Yo, what's going on? Surfing the Apocalypse, episode 21. This is Blaxican, Gabriel Carbo, NPC the game, all that. Coming for you live early in the damn morning over here in District 13, Taiwan, the real District 13. And I'm here. The day has come. Oh man. Be careful what you wish for, you might get it. Today we have the IllumiTommy episode, right? The man, the myth, the legend, the enigma. IllumiTommy, are you there?
Yeah, I think I was already talking on mute a couple of times. You made that Station 33 stuff, right? That was
Yeah.
I appreciate the intro, but for a moment I was like, have I been ripping off somebody else's stuff and didn't know it? Good stuff.
No, I thought
Good
that.
stuff.
Yeah, I found that on there. Yeah, and appreciate you for the amazing footage. Made that easy with the you already had. Those are all Tommy's, mostly Tommy's clips from his
Yeah.
channel. Yeah, go check it out. I mean, most of the people here already are probably from your channel. But so how's it going, man? How's it going?
It's it's going. Same as always. Try not to
Yeah.
emphasize the pros and cons too much. Just keep letting it ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
They're
feel
only
you.
going to emphasize each other. The higher you amp your highs, the lower the lows will feel.
Yeah. Was that why is that, bro? Like why?
The
Well, I mean, I
dichotomy of
guess
humans.
the,
Like the same
mm,
way, as soon as you get exactly what you want right now, in a day or two, you'll start finding that next thing that you must have or achieve. It's part of being human. That
yeah. I guess it's that drive, right? It's like never enough. Yeah.
There's that, and then there's that grass is always greener thing where even when you get what you want, it's well, now he looks like he's having fun over there, being that, doing that.
hmm hmm Yeah, I
Whereas
went
the
through that.
answers are,
I went through that big time. I mean, I like to bring it back to myself. I know it's that Scorpio shit, but bring it back to
I
myself.
think that's
Give it.
exactly Scorpio shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you Scorpio or what?
No, no, I could probably like we vibe pretty well as you being a Scorpio, but I've always been wary of
Yeah.
Scorpios as an Aquarius. Like a Scorpio women
Mhm.
are a bane to
Ah,
me as an Aquarius.
yeah. I knew you were. I had the feeling you were Aquarius, especially to actually talk to you for the first time the other day when it was the Aquarius full moon over here. So yeah, that made sense.
Hmm.
Um, bro, but yeah, I was gonna say I remember there was a time like when all my friends were getting married or or they had like girlfriends and stuff, and I was the one like, oh man, because I was trapped in that Libra moment, meaning like relationship. I need a relationship no matter what, and I felt kind of
And
like,
funny enough, Libras are one of my like relationship maxers that I should be or I should have in the day been seeking out Libras. Um,
hmm
I did come
who did you,
across some, but
who did you
go
usually
ahead.
come across? Like mostly,
I wasn't
curious.
always on. I don't always check their signs because the only thing I astrology over is personality. I like to look into the personalities kind of match up. But other than that, like in Christianity, we're warned not to deal in
Right?
those things as far as future seeking and tarots and stuff. I did a
Yeah,
LARP church on it. But
yeah,
I do pay attention to it just to be curious about how often the personalities match up, and it seems to be uh, closer than people would give it credit for a lot of the time. With
yeah.
always the
That's
exceptions, because they're like, "Well, I know a person that's this," and they're like, "I'm like, there's always an
of
exception."
course. Yeah, then the astrologer will hit you with, yeah, because our chart has everything, bro. Like in
Yeah,
that's what I call it. I call it personality. People call it astrology, but it's a personality, kind of like reading
personality.
your personality and all that shit.
Yeah.
But then people can get way too far into it and
Hmm.
realize there's beyond. There's things beyond it. Like you mentioned, like the Bible in the church tells you to stay away from that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
then
we're
you
instructed to use the stars for like navigation and the few things God said He will show in the skies, but as far as all the fortune telling, soothsaying,
mhm.
it's it's not what you want.
Yeah, I've heard like Hebrew Israelite say, you know what? He's like, that's true what the Bible says. However, there's certain set of us that are allowed to dive into that for purposes. What do you think about that? Or certain people uh having a set, having a the priestly class in general between
Sounds
you and
like,
God.
I mean, there is like a priest thing that we'd still be. It's like that's Jack's problem with trying to be a attendee of like 2 or 3 different churches. You are tasked as the individual to figure out who you would consider that priestly class, because televangelists will show you that they're definitely not all great guys. Um, but yeah, I don't think there's a sect that's like, oh, you're allowed to delve into witchcraft and warlock type shit, and others
Yeah.
aren't. I don't think it's like that.
Yeah.
The whole reason I've LARP Church reviewed why you're not to get into that stuff is because you're showing God you need something more than just trusting in Him, that you need to find the future for yourself or even worry about the future, when you're supposed to just be leaving it to Him, like letting go of the steering wheel a la Tyler Durden style.
Tyler Durden, Fight Club, right?
Yeah, but not in a literal sense. Don't go out on the highway and let go of the steering wheel and say, I'll leave it to God. Definitely, that's not what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, people said I'll pray for it, I'll pray on it, but then they don't give God the opportunity to to really help them because they're not in motion. They're not actually trying to do anything themselves.
And also, their praying and contemplating is probably heavily revolving around convincing themselves their decision is what they should go with.
Mm-hmm. And then speaking in this Panelverse, it's almost like it's kind of like cringe to hear all the different people talk about God
Oh,
in
yeah.
this. It's
Not just
it's
the
like
Panelverse, but in YouTube in general. Like, I'm
mhm,
offended by how often my suggestions are all these different teenagers or especially spaced out looking women, and the title is God said this, God told me this, God revealed this. It's like, man, in Old Testament terms, if you ain't correct, we're supposed to delete you via heavy rocks when you're saying that shit, as
yeah,
far as Old Testament before the change up.
yeah, yeah. There was been a big push in in YouTube, at least in my algorithm. Like I've seen where some big channels they've been having this guy named Amon Hillman, this like
Sounds
ex
familiar.
he was like ex professor with tattoos on his heads and stuff, and he's talking about how Jesus with with a pedophile, and he was saying he was on drugs because and then
Oh, I think Neurojack is.
these big channels have him on there. It's like crazy. Like
Yeah, and I remember Neurojack throwing me an email with something about people saying Jesus was a pedophile, and I'm like,
uh
I don't even remember if I
yeah,
watched it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
cool
But
with Neurojack, but sometimes I'm like, I'm trying to bring him back
Neurojack,
on the
huh?
rails. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like he's a good dude. He came on here yesterday, but a lot of us have been spreading ourselves thin, I think, in my opinion, on these all these panels and stuff, and
Hmm.
getting away from what do you believe, type of stuff. Yeah.
And it is a good test for finding out how strong you are in your beliefs, because I'll stand against, from Talcott to his daddy, I'll stand against them with how I believe they're very anti-Christian in what they spread. And
Yeah.
I feel like I've won that battle of my own questioning of my faith. And then that goes into why I'm just going to leave for a while. Everybody's taking breaks. I'm working on The More You Know, the sequel to RT You Know. If you haven't seen that, it's one of my bigger comedy
Hmm.
things. Um, just watching that, I think that was back from the end of February of this year. Just some of the things I was hearing them say while I make this video. Uh, that Z was talking about a time he had left for like 8 months, and I've already disappeared for a few weeks back whenever they thought the cops had murked me. Um, so yeah, this exit I'm taking, I don't know how long it'll be, but feel free to review my channel while I'm gone for whatever you might need. Um, I think you're one of the
Yeah.
channels I wouldn't care about you reviewing it, because I think you'll do it right.
Yeah. Appreciate that. That's good. Good. Um, it's probably to be honest. I hate when people say that when I say that shit. To be honest, I should be honest all the time, right? But
Yeah, I
I've been
agree.
I plan on I have actually been sick of this Panelverse to be blunt, like, and that's when I found your channel, and some other stuff happened too, where I was like, okay, maybe I should let me reformat it in my purpose, and I'm just gonna document this weird
Yeah.
place,
I
you
think
know?
that shows you're actually a credible human being to only be
Yeah,
checking it out for 2 months and to be sick of it. Because
yeah.
uh, one of the things I was going to suggest for your channel coming up is I wouldn't suggest restreaming it, but go participate in these panels because just the numbers I'm at, I think I was at 100 subs or more before I ever posted a video, and it was just from everybody finding me through I go to
Mm,
panels, and if they're wrong or if I disagree, I get in that ass. But
hmm
I wasn't necessarily trolling, but I was like, whoa, 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 have you not considered blah? And
hmm
depending on what the subject matter was. So I was actually tasked to go ahead with a channel even among the hosts that were like, go make your own channel because they were sick of me showing up. But is that not what we're seeking? If you don't have pushback, you're just going to be a boring echo chamber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a lot of us playing the safe route. People
Hmm.
playing the safe route because there's folks that you see them in all the panels, and they put in a lot of work. They'll put in a lot of
Yeah.
time, I say, but like, what do they believe? What's their philosophy on life? That's my thing.
Hmm.
Like, what? How do you see things? With if you don't speak up, we don't know.
And
Or
that's
yeah.
one of my stances I took a lot against a lot of the earlier channels is contrary to putting in a lot of work. We watch them think that every day they're just gonna click go live and hope the panel makes a YouTube career for them. And so I
Mm,
was like, well, I'm at least gonna put some effort into the optics as the word is going around and the visuals and
hmm
sequences, backgrounds.
Yeah, speaking of that, Tommy, as a kid, as a child, were you artistic?
Oh yeah,
Not autistic, but
yeah,
artistic.
I've referenced. I've probably took art through all of grade school and high school, and then college was more sciencey stuff. But yeah, I've constantly referenced my experiences through art class, especially in high school, because I was
Mhm.
almost failed out of it. I was so artistic that I couldn't go with half the curriculum and stuff because I'm like, man, this is too. He was too streamlined. It was too
hmm
borderline, and you could tell that he was a guy that wanted to be a full-blown artist and found himself just with a family and teaching it in a high school. So I could sense some
Yeah.
resentment that he would have. But yeah, and then a girl that was in my class, she's, as far as I know, she's still like struggling in Boston. And that's like what I would give her whenever she was hating on herself on in the Facebook days, like,
hmm
my art's failing, I'm starving in Boston. I'm like, you're living the thing. Like, do it. I don't know why you're down on yourself. You are a starving fucking artist. That's what we were learning
hmm
about in art class and stuff. Like, do the damn thing. And she is
Right.
a good artist, but she might have been a little too uh, valedictorian type to realize past her art skills that this is what it is. Find your view
hmm
and show it.
Right. I always thought this, not always, but I think about how art school, because I have a lot of people, friends and family that went to the Academy of Art San Francisco, and
Nice.
I wonder if it would be smart. This is me from looking from the outside. If they had some type of business or marketing to go with their, you know, with their
I
curriculum.
I honestly, and call it the B system. I, as an artist, am looking at what's going on. I'm like, I don't see how much longer it's even going to be recognized or valid. Like even the stuff I claim the fame out here for with my filters and my background game, I'm already seeing YouTube commercials where in the commercial the guy's face is changing, his voice is changing, and it's like, yeah, anybody with a phone can do one of these panels. Anybody
Hmm.
with minor experience is going to start surpassing me and my filter game and backgrounds game. Uh, I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm not confident in it.
So how we stand out? Someone mentioned, and shout out to the chat, Mindful Exposures, Don't Judge Me, Shadow Buddha, and Look Within, the homie. Um, don't judge me. She with a comment. She said Tommy took drama classes. Some more Tommy lore. We're hungry
I
for.
took them for I took 2 years of drama classes that I wouldn't really call taking them because
Hmm.
those last 2 years of high school, you're stressed just to fill the day. Where you're like, why can't I just leave? Why do I have to fill this day with these extra class? Why can't I just take what I need and leave? And so in my senior year, I did skip so much that the principal was like, the next time you miss, you got to be in the morgue or in jail, or you're not
Hmm.
going to graduate. So that was tough the rest of the year to not miss. Um, but yeah, man, my life changed up big time because I turned 18 before I was graduated from high school and moved out. But before that, I was one of those really anal retentive, by the books students all through school.
Hmm. Yeah. Your
But
dad
yeah, I
and
just
your
took
mom
I
make
just
you help.
took I just took drama to fuck around and get high and do improv, and I wasn't really learning much. But the teacher was like, "You need to just graduate and go off to California and let me see you in the big lights." And of course,
Hmm.
I didn't trust her or believe that for an instant. But I also wouldn't want to sell my soul in Hollywood either.
That's true. The fame, you would have sacrificed something else. We wouldn't have you in this small panel. We probably would have been reviewing one of your things, like videos, and say, "Look at how he's a resonator with loose." You know what I'm saying? Like this was Saturnian energy, and yeah, um,
Yeah.
yeah. I had the jock program. That's what I ran: basketball, football, baseball. So I didn't really get into art. I never saw myself as an artist until uh, college later on when of course it was a woman. My muse at the time, she was like, "You're an artist." Like I was like, "Oh, I never thought of myself as that. I'm just making videos and stuff." And ever since then I never forgot that. And I don't know. I think because what I see what you're doing is I like to focus on the art too. And
Hmm.
it's different than a lot of the other people in the space. I don't see the
Yeah.
artistic maybe. And I this is like most of the people I know, they hate this guy, but the TBE dude, he kind of does some stuff, and some other people do, but they're not going all out like you in terms of the.
And I hate him too. But one of my last projects I'm trying to finish before I go roofless is to show how I very much justifiably hate him, and I hope that he sees what he probably doesn't see him in himself through this thing I'm putting together on him. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I feel that my return to art is actually more aligned with as I've gotten back on the God thing. Uh,
Hmm.
I realized that art was like a gift that I had kind of trashed and in a sense didn't realize I was saying, "Hey, God, I know you granted me this gift and here I am not using it, disregarding it," because I was getting in that white collar rat race for a lot of my Colorado time. And so this
Hmm.
is me recognizing I had uh, not exploited. What's the opposite? I had disregarded or whatever. I'd neglected it. And now
Hmm.
I'm trying to get back to it. And hopefully I'll find the means to still be putting out some stuff without a roof over my head.
Yeah. What got you back into the God mode, as we say?
There was a time that through my, like, I've been in Colorado about 15, 16 years. And throughout that time, I slowly started considering what I don't know, what's not known. I started almost calling myself an agnostic. And then, whenever through my investing in crypto direction, whenever I saw this future one world coin, I was like, oh, that's the foundation for a market to buy and sell. And it just got me back into like, no, I need to get back on track, get right with what's verifiable and versus what I know to be true, whether verifiable or not. Like, I think we all in life have to find our own reasons to prove God that might not necessarily be broadcastable, but for the self, like there's proof that no one can tell you that's not your proof. I think that's what some of us need to find. But then, as far as broadcast, I've even got atheists in the crypto sphere going, yeah, I may be an atheist, but not taking no tattoo to buy and sell. So I kind of keep looking for that to weigh that, hey, atheist, you still feeling this way? Or you starting to say fuck it and you're down for it? I kind of get the climate while I'm there. Like
Hmm.
test the climate, see where people are at with it.
Yeah. Are you the
So on
total
my own show,
out?
the other day, I was saying if your fingerprints, you're always your fingerprint, your eye scan's always your eye scan. Why would you ever need some individual tattoo or label extra than that? If we need a thing to show we are we.
So it's almost like the mass ritual of wearing the mask and that really don't work in terms of
Mm.
spreading the Conan 19. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
it's like what can
that
we
was like
make
a
you do?
test run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what can we have you do? It's the old South Park where they had the gyrosphere, where when the 9/11 they made you take your shoes off to go on the
Hmm.
plane and all that stuff. It's like they're just trying to
Yeah.
humiliate you and see what they can make you do.
And I was working
Someone's
at the airport for most of my college time. I worked at Denver Airport, and I used to be able to skip some of that stuff because I was a manager, and I would be like, I would fuck with people because as I pass all these
hmm
people that are pissed about taking their shoes off, I'm like, I assure you, everyone, the only reason I get to jump ahead of you and skip all this is only because I'm better than you, and just walk away. And they'd actually
yeah
laugh, and it would alleviate it because as a white guy, they can tell I'm joking and they'd get a chuckle out of it compared to they're pissed about it just like I was anytime I've had to go through that shit.
yeah
Um,
yeah. You're
but
joking,
I
but there's a sense there's a sense of truth there though that you
No, because
either
they thought
subconsciously.
because if they saw the tag around my neck that I'm holding up to pass through, they're expecting me to say because I'm management. But then when I
Mm,
hit them when I flip mode on them and say because I'm better than you, that's when they realize yeah, I'm joking.
you're
But
joking, yeah.
usually I was only getting to go through because I'd already been through it once anyway. And for a long time, showing up for your first pass through of the shift, you still had to do it. And then once you're there, you could come and go through it. But I used to have this lady working for the company I was management in. She was a bigger woman. She was just a
hmm
mother and a family woman. She was already at work. I sent her up to the front bank just to get change. And on the way back, something scanned on her. They chose her to swipe off her hands and something got set off. That woman came back crying her eyes out because of whatever
hmm
they took her back in a back office and did over, I guess, the gunpowder thing they wipe off your hand. It sent some kind of something that set it off that might have
hmm
been sensing gunpowder or some chemical. And she came back crying over whatever they did to her in a back room. And she was an employee already there on the shift. And that's when I knew shit was really fucked up with the
Yeah,
whole airline travel.
yeah. That time in your life exposed you to a lot of different cultures and types of people because I noticed like I don't know if you worked for the TSA or TSL or whatever, but
No.
it seems like bro, it's like the Coda Benetton commercial. Like there's so many different people at the
Yeah, I
airport
mean,
working. Yeah, yeah,
it is. It's very diverse, and there's like pros and cons to diverse. Like we are a creature that if everything's exploding around you or things have gotten all Mad Max, your lizard brain's gonna say group up with who looks like you. And so
right.
there's an aspect of your brain that to force this much diversity and just say it's the best thing, it's gonna have effects like this.
Yeah.
Like
What do
a
we do
guy
here in the
that says,
Panelverse? There's
fuck it,
no
I'm
black
gonna
people.
say all the words.
There you go. But that's interesting enough that like I don't see no black people in this Panelverse really. And
Yes.
but yet I'm talking to you here and I feel an affinity with you.
Yeah,
Where's
it's
my
that
lizard brain
realness.
tell me about you? Yeah.
Yeah, there's an affinity for realness and irrational.
Mm,
But there is plenty of black people around, whether they're exposing that they're black or not, and
mm,
I think it just helps with the progress. Like I said, there was a popular Rob Cleveland that was known for being more of a with the Unslavia cult, but he was one of the first black dudes to come to me in the Panelverse and say, "No, I get it. I don't get triggered by hearing a white guy say N words anymore because you're out here just saying it and you're not really
mm-hmm,
making it a racial thing, but it's like a
mm,
step past not being what I see in like on code and stuff if he shows
yeah.
up."
Yeah, where's on code? You had the link, brother. We need to anyway, yeah, because this is with Tommy here, bro. He's right here.
Yeah, he might
Like,
even want to watch from the shadows and see where it goes, and then he might join. I know how it is. That's some of
okay.
the stuff I can talk to you about. Is I think I was the first to actually perceive what this Panelverse is and the laws of it and what relates to real life and what's separate from real life. But you might have heard me refer to time traveling. That's just anybody can go back and watch old streams or old panels and see what might have been said about you. This one I'm watching for the RT sequel, I didn't realize they were talking about me as much as they were on it or referring to me until now. And there's that aspect that's time traveling. Just like I got to be a fly on the wall of my own funeral when this Panelverse thought I was dead. And
Yeah.
it's like surreal. It's like you can't do that in real life.
That is
But
true.
then the relation is, if you do this time traveling thing, you have to understand your whole life without, even before internet, that's what motherfuckers were doing. Like when you weren't around,
Right.
that's what your best
Yep.
friend was doing, and this
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, man. You're literally doing Bugs Bunny like all over the place. Who's an Aquarius too? You're able to see all that shit. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you know that's interesting though. You saw your own funeral. It reminds me of another infamous character in some of the outer regions of the internet, and this quote unquote the manosphere and black pill sphere and red pill sphere that I was in for a minute. And there was this dude, I don't know if you ever heard of him, named Hormaxer or Street Maxer.
Oh, the one time I encountered him, I went in on him so hard. I think he avoided me until he left YouTube
Wow.
altogether. But he's too related to the Thorpe. Some kind of. I used to be pro Thorpe whenever I was going to be their fake. What do you call it? PR agent. And so for the LARP, I was going to be their fake PR agent. But over the 2 years, they've turned into like, if there's one girl I'd want the chance to ever punch just once, it would probably be Grace Thorpe. Just one time. If she wants the cloud, if we want the internet hype, Grace Thorpe, you heard it here. Let's get together in Denver. Let me punch you in the face just one time. No charges set. And I'd be down for that. I think she's a horrible person.
Hey, you ain't lying, brother. That it's not going to be a kick to the back like Ben.
Oh no, and I backed them up on that. I supported them on that. I was like, number one, I watched that live. He just kind of booted her computer spinny chair, and it was actually just some random viewer that fucking called the cops on him. But I said it as the father of a 21, 22-year-old girl that just sits around your house YouTubing while she drinks and smokes. Would you not boot her in the ass occasionally? Is that not what she needs, you know?
Right. She needs it.
Except he's enabling it as the family troll thing they're doing. But yeah, I'd very much not boot her in the. I'd just one square sock in the mouth. I'd be happy.
Yeah, they learned from him. It's like the '80s commercial. Parents that use drugs have children that use drugs. I learned it from watching you, Dad. Like, where'd you find this stash? Because he's a piece of shit too. From what all I know is what they show.
But this is what I was their first encounter with. I was the original person. Hey, mindful exposure, chill out on the spam because I can get to you next. But she's a good person, but she's got issues. But I was the first one. I was the first one that between Stephen David and Toilet Bowl Earth, they were raging about the Thorpes and their pseudo incest assault. And I was the first one in their experience that was like, if that shit isn't a LARP, and this is coming from the master LARPer apparently of that time, if that shit is remotely real, why is Grace willingly living in the same house, still doing YouTube videos with him? Do you not see like the key elements to decide if something's a LARP or not, the same way people back then were saying Tom is a meth pedo, something else I can't even remember. So I was the one that showed them the light of, you know what, they might be a fucked up family, but I don't think there's any incest assault going on. And one of the reasons I could so easily punch Grace in the mouth is because she's never to this day acknowledged that shit. But
Mm.
on Rachel's Ghost recently, though, I don't know how she got on Rachel's Ghost, but I went up and I guess I was in the backstage, and Rachel's Ghost, she's a trans
I know.
vinyl
I've seen her
record
before on that.
Okay. I
Sorry
actually
to
met her.
interrupt, but
No, you're fine. I actually met her when I was dealing with De Laguna. We went to a De Laguna premiere party whenever she went on the whatever podcast. And so that's how I met Rachel and we hit it off. When I showed up there and she said, I got Station 33 in the back. Do you know him? And she's like, oh, IllumiTommy. And she like froze. And she was like, yeah, he's based. And it's like, of all the times you want to talk shit and get in the way and throw a wrench in my thing, whenever I approach on Rachel's Ghost, oh, yeah, he's based. And that's how I know she's, well, I mean, I knew she was fake before that, but I wanted to see what she'd do if I showed up. So yeah, man, I've backed off of my Thorpe support. I'm actually trying to get a hold of Andrew Wilson someday to be like, bro, I only backed. I got muted on the Crucible, like muted for all time, because Ben was he was reviewing Ben versus Destiny and the little brown kid that Grace or Ava allegedly were fucking not fucking. They had said some shit to Ben that as if I was a father, I would back Ben where he's like, if you did that to Grace, if you showed up and tried something like that with Grace, I'd kill you. And I chatted, I stand with Hollywood Ben. And I meant on that concept statement situation. I was like, yeah, man, any father, I would say you have the right to fucking murk those dudes if they're pulling that shit with your daughter. And he took it as, of all time, I stand and support Hollywood Ben. I still have the clip of him flipping out. Like, why don't you get out of the chat then, you fucking douchebag? I'm like, I just meant, and I never got the chance. That's why I go give every chance to my chatters and stuff when I'm about to mod on them. I'm like, letting them say their piece and make sure that it's not just a misunderstanding or in the moment like that definitely was.
Yeah, it happens, you know. Yeah. Yeah. And,
oh, look at Marvel. Share that chat where she's saying she's traumatized.
I had that up for
Mindful exposure, you're absolutely insane, and you're built like a man. Yeah, she'll show those pictures off of her and some dude like pushing a stump over. Yeah, you're built like a man, and you're still triggered by saying that Grace is not traumatized. I was drawn to her because she's a little white girl that was saying faggot on YouTube more than I do. And I was like, what is this family? This is fucking awesome. Yeah, people still give Grace too much credit when she's very complicit in this stuff that goes on.
I mean, she loves her dad. I'll give her that. She's loyal.
As
a father, you want. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. What's up with the mom,
Catholic girl. I think
What's going on with that mom?
Catholic girl. Well, that's how I know some of it's real, because they're such a fucked up family that while the mom is departing and they're separating or whatever the story is, she's just rolling with it as far as doing the YouTube stuff about it. Like they shared that. This is what was fun, is my upcoming was this blend of like the realness with some LARP and some editing and the Panelverse fiction stuff I threw in. That's what I saw in them, is they're actually a family tearing apart, and they're sharing a degree of that with YouTube while toying with it to a degree. That's what I actually appreciated about them.
Yeah, I had found out about them like almost like 2 years ago, and some people from the Discord were like, you got to check this out. And I was like, they didn't do it for me. Now, once I saw him kick her, that's when I got more into it, even though maybe it was staged and all that shit. But
it wasn't. It wasn't much more than him booting her chair, though. It wasn't like if
you know what,
if you went out and told someone about it at the mall, you wouldn't let them think it was a Mortal Kombat like sidekick. He just booted her chair for being a little brat, which she fucking is.
She is, yeah. It seems pretty bad too, because it shook jarred the computer and the microphone in it, so it's like really loud. And
Yeah, and people hear
yeah,
me
but
hit my desk, and I'll hit this table so hard that it makes my plugged-in hard drives ask what to do with them again, like it jarred the connection. And I'm
mhm,
trying to break this table. I broke one side because of Camacho's collar on my wrist. I like pounded
mhm,
the collar spikes into the table. So I've already planned that before I leave, I'm just taking the legs off for a future table because they have the adjustable feet for to level it out. But this table was just IKEA fucking balsa wood that every time I'm hitting it, I am trying to break it. I'll
yeah.
tell a I'll tell a
Well,
Shaolin story that relates to that.
let's go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, no, okay. I'll go ahead and share. It's like a Shaolin parable story from the monks and stuff. So one time, a village was very proud to send off the next boy to the Shaolin monks to train,
Hmm.
and as he went off to train, just every day they'd be like, "You fill this cauldron with water, and you're gonna slap the water out of the cauldron until it's empty, and you're just gonna do that." And every day they'd have him do this, and he was like pissed about it. He's like, "When do I do that stuff? Those guys over there, when do I do this stuff?" And he'd complain about it, but every day they'd make him fill this cauldron full of water and slap the water out of it till it was empty. And so after however many years, he gets either excused or sent back home for a visit or whatever. And his family's just like, oh, they're all welcoming him. They're like, they're back. And he's all down on himself, like, yeah, whatever. And they're asking him over dinner or whatever, like, well, so tell us, what have you learned? What have you learned? He's like, I haven't learned nothing. They haven't taught me anything. And they keep pressing him and pressing him. And finally he says, I'm telling you, I've learned nothing. And he smacks the table and it splits the table in half and like breaks it right down the middle and it collapses. And they're all like, oh. And then even he's realizing, oh my God, I just palm struck this table in half. So I've always liked that story.
Yeah, that seems like a cooler version of the wax on, wax off. Like with
It's
a
all it is. Yeah.
like
It's just another version of it. It's like you
except
think this
using
guy's
anger.
punking you around and they're teaching you something and you're not even big enough to realize they're teaching you something. And maybe that's what my whole LARP has been. No ego, but
Hmm.
I've always had
Yeah.
a method or a reason for all this stuff. It's not just rando spur.
Hmm. Yeah, I heard you saying the bombs of porn. That's a membership video, I believe, and you said the reason uh, people like Ryan Reynolds and I get with being over the top is because we must stay over the top. It's the only
The
way
only
people
way,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
have to maintain it, or else you'll throw
Yeah.
them for a loop.
Yeah. Know what though, Tommy?
That you're being sarcastic or over the top. You
Mm,
have to stay over the top so that there's no question that's what you're doing. Because I've seen a lot of people in this Panelverse. We've still got him confused. Even Word Wizard, he doesn't know what he's saying when he tries to describe what other people are doing. Um, yeah, man,
mm,
it's like I have to stay over the top because I say all the words, and then whenever it comes up like on this channel or others, I'll be like, well, have you seen me aim the words at someone, or am I just saying them in their use without actually
mm,
saying who is or who isn't? And these are all details I think we all have to learn to look at when we're assessing
mm.
things. It's
Okay.
like sometimes we're telling people exactly what they want to know, and if you don't have to break it down to brass tacks, there's ways people can get it.
Right. We got a question from the OC, California, from Shadow Buddha. Can you ask Tommy on his thoughts of the rise of Christian nationalism in the Panelverse? Does it conflict with the First Amendment for freedom of religion and inflict others' rights?
I don't think Christianity is ever in its core. I know it's been used improperly, but I don't think Christianity in its core has ever been about suppressing rights, because this is what I've always brought up with Machine Lies. With his Allah, it's bend the knee infidel, but with Jesus, it was, I hope you make the decision to show up like on your own.
Hmm.
So I've never tried to oppress other views, but I want to give a take in their presence because I want that challenge. But I think the real conflict of First Amendment is this recent stuff where uh, there's laws against saying bad things about the small hats, and then in my religion we point out that it was the small hats and the Pharisees that executed Jesus, but we're also not angry at them about it. It's what had to be. It's what, I mean, it is his people. That's why they sarcastically put here's your Jesus, King of the Jews, on that sign above his head.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say all laws are going to start hurting First Amendments and things like that. And don't pay any attention to Special K there. I don't care if she's giving you props. She is a cheerleader looking for a home.
There we go. She appreciates me,
That
Aunt
girl,
Tommy, though. Hi,
well,
Special
she
K.
appreciates everybody. And then next she's going to come in here saying I murdered my best friend. And I had covered her on that last live stream. So she's actually worse off than she knows. Like, she was the original cult cheerleader. He
Oh,
used to
wait.
use her. Go
This
ahead.
is the woman that was talking about she peace and love with Jack Talcott. 'Cause I didn't get a
Right,
chance to
right.
watch all this. Interesting. She looks like that. I didn't think she looked like
She
that.
can't.
Wow,
No, she doesn't
interesting.
look like that. She doesn't look like
Uh,
that. But
okay.
she doesn't know what she stands on, because she forgets that when I was on Z's show one day, just pumping this, hey man, Christianity, the Jesus thing, blah blah blah. She was pumped about it in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
and then she'll flip to no, Christianity's BS. She's always modifying herself according to what channel she's cheerleading for. I'm actually surprised she showed up.
Yeah, she says she likes
See,
the content.
she's
It's
trying
all
to
Tommy though.
she's trying to chat out a story right now that I've already set the record on. And when her and my online girlfriend and Goblin and these other people, they were given an multi-hour stream to come up and get it right and have it out, and they chose not to. So I don't give them the time of day anymore. Like, they've had every chance, and they still follow me around trying to sell this
Yeah.
narrative when they see me coming up on a new channel. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's why mindful exposure also loses my respect. She's telling me to stop looping.
Yeah.
She That's why a lot of my worst haters are what's the majority of your viewers today. And I told you it'd be
Yeah.
that way.
They get a chance that, like, oh, this is a new guy, doesn't know him much, and this to keep
Exactly.
100.
Exactly.
I enjoy you being here though. It's kind of lonely sometimes. I have my friends though, Shadowback, look within, but it's good
Hmm.
to have you. But we're gonna keep it real, right, Tommy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all I do. I
yeah.
even did a
Somebody,
LARP church you might want to check out sometime about. I used to say lying was amoral, kind of like, hey, whoever picks up that sword is only in the morality of who's wielding it. I used to say that
right,
about lying, and I don't even say that anymore. I did a LARP church about how now I am honest truth, or I'll just shut my mouth.
right. Yep. So Wittgenstein said that if you can't speak, don't say anything. That's going to be
Hmm.
a stream coming up on Wittgenstein and brain rot. There's a
Uh, I'm
Go
sorry to
ahead.
be distracted by the chat. Special K, if you never showed up because you'd never give me the chance to see or hear you again, that's all you do is follow me around. If it's Jack's chat, if it's this chat, you're making me see and hear you. When I invite haters up, it's the fairest panel in the Panelverse that's going to let you say your whole piece and have the back and forth, for the same reason I let you go at Paul on my couch and backed off whenever you wanted to do that. Uh, yeah, NPC is going to keep it real. That's why he likes me. Did you catch up, or did you just drop in for this panel show? Like, is this your first one, Special K? He found me.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you before around here. I know, like we were talking, you were talking about to Jack. I think about one of the cool things about the panel versus your chatters, your chat. But if you get
Hmm.
big, because he wants to be, who does he want to be? A mix of Joe Rogan and Joel Osteen and
Oh,
Ram
with
Dass or
Jack.
something. Yeah, so like,
He
he's like he wants to be
references
big.
all
He said,
kinds of, yeah.
if we go here, we can go here, and then we can go here. I mean, I appreciate the ambition, but anyway, what you said about the whole thing about knowing who you're chatting, that is cool. That is a cool thing. I don't know how
Hmm.
these people do it with their chat. Well, they don't even look at it. They can't. The thing looks like it's going like a fucking hyperspace or something. Sometimes.
Yeah, I actually had a channel that I could email him. I was on, like, we called each other friends, and his thing was covering like the first he was covering like who was it? Sam Hyde versus iDubbbz, and then he went on to be really big about calling out who's the guy that's the cousin of the Young Turks guy? Hassan. He did a lot of Hassan coverage. Yeah. And in that time, I watched him become bigger than any of us could be recognized in his chat, and just kind of drifted off. And there's Joe Rogan. He's always blowing up my chat too. Joe Rogan's always up in my shit, man. He's always like blowing up my streams. Yeah,
you talked him up. I heard you talk him up, bro. Like you talked about him the other day, like last week. You said, by Joe Rogan. I was like, dude, this guy has a correspondence with Joe Rogan. What's going on?
No, but that's why I appreciate this sock account of Joe Rogan. He gives us the bit to be this this thing. See. Can we? I mean, I told you I like to go with where it goes. You want to share some of these K things? Because
let's go.
I don't have to hate it. We can just show who she is. She's doing what all my enemies are doing right now. It's silly. But the Joe Rogan thing, he was really pushing this Hanko Flame video on me that's like 10 years old. That's whenever I referenced a lot of, Joe Rogan, he's always going against the things. But see how she stresses voluntarily, as if she doesn't want anybody to believe what I say, which is that is what it is, and she won't.
That's not the first person I heard say that.
I know, I know. It's close. It's all kinds of haters. Yeah. It's like the whole reason I came up with the word ruthless is because it's very much voluntary. What she said, but yelling at the ones who doesn't have their van ready for your Colorado winter that you're so scared of. You treat random Sean so sick. No, see, Kay, this is what happens when you try and just jump in when you hear it. I'm giving Sean shit about his van because it was for us to YouTube road trip in, you stupid bitch. Sean has a trailer to live in. That van was given to him to pull that trailer. Do you hear what I'm saying right now? She doesn't. She's just going to chat away. How about just go ahead and hit the link, Kay, because he'll narrate or he'll moderate, and we can just handle this. I'd appreciate if she comes up. I'll let you moderate this because I trust you for that. And if she doesn't, she's just going to show who she is.
Okay. Well, I was going to monitor it anyway, even though thank you for saying that, though. But
right.
I wouldn't let shit.
And DJM got thrown under the bus because she offered me nothing. And so she can come up here too. I mean, this is my problem with I only do private correspondence for the other person. I like to keep my stuff public and referenceable because I'm not scared of this lying crap. I mean, Kay, you're just showing your past. You say I'm current meth user, but you're showing your past heroin addiction because you're just doing the thing. This is a good example of what you need to watch out for in the Panelverse. Is watch how your chat is now getting spammed by her triggeredness, and she showed up and wanted this. Yeah, so I mean, if she doesn't hit that link, we're gonna move on. But
it's there. I mean, I'd rather speak than right. I'm not Meridian could be better, but
why keep confusing yourself in the chat, Kay, when we're sitting here like, come on up and let's work this out? Because go ahead.
Yeah, what's his name? Even mindful exposures said something. I like Deep Tommy right here because I mean the Tommy that a lot of us get to see, especially newbies, is like a very the wild man, bro, and but there's different levels to you. It's kind of like Alex Jones. I mean, I grew up watching him for 17 years now. And like he gets, he's famous for his rants and all that shit. But then when he goes deep, it's very interesting and very cerebral and kind of cool to see different sides of people. But in this day and age, you got to be able to go.
Hold up. Mindful Exposures, I did not invite you because you're going to make this all about you and you have nothing to do with the situation. I'm inviting Kay and DJ up for the things that Kay wants to blow up about in the chat. I'm not going to make this like this is how you can keep your panel a thing. Is a lot of these people are just looking for another place to fill it with 9 people talking over each other. But no, the interesting thing is, Kay, is I'm going to watch how much you spam this chat after you've been given the link, and then it's up to NPC how long we even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But Mindful Exposures, there's nothing you would have to contribute to the reason I'm inviting Kay and DJM up here.
Let's stay on target. Stay on target.
Yep.
John Candy said. Stay on target. We brought up Hank. Joe Rogan brought up Hank, or the lore of Joe Rogan brought up Hank, and that's the thing that actually, Code's not here, so I'm going to speak it out. Like, he didn't really. He was like, damn, that's fucked up, bro. Like the way you were talking to Hank, and I said, but then I know Hank a little bit more better than him, in the sense that I see how Hank. He goes in there talking about, he's very, very intelligent man and whatnot. However, he throws himself in these conversations just to speak, and then it gets it gets in the way.
He's autistic, though, right?
Oh, of course. I hope he is. Okay. I hope that's not a lie. yeah. But I didn't like, that how you just hard R. However, that's how you speak. That's how you speak.
Share her last chat, because I think this is going to finish it for this stream. Kay's last chat right there. Oh, now she'll just let you do your interview without her interfering. She just wanted to come up and say hello and will not be a cheerleader here ever, I promise. She's insane. Like, and this is how people can't just let us all be ourselves and work it out. She wants to spread her bullshit to a new channel when she might not know that I can walk away from all this. And it's only people like NPC that I'm like, man, I probably should find a way back eventually. But a lot of my ruthless has nothing to do with this Panelverse. And the problem with the Panelverse is we can't round all these haters up, get them straight on the truth and move on. They're only looking to manipulate. So yeah, man, if she don't want to come up, if it was my channel, I wouldn't let her just spam off if she's not going to come up. I like to block people and then after that show, unblock them for future shows. But if somebody's just out to ruin one of my streams, and this is just me, I'll put a hand on the chat and then just release them all after that stream is over. Because they'll show up showing you what they want to be and who they want to be for the stream.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up. Because I'm new to having a lot of people on this thing. It's kind of like
when she says, why are you so worried about what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe because I spent 2 years having people believe that I'm a pedo and that me and Flow State are best friends. And I think the only reason you're saying as much as you say, Kay, is because you're expecting someone to believe you. Am I wrong?
Yeah, so Kay, Miss Special K.
And watch out for DJM, because she'll try and narrative that she's like, NPC is like, and I've booted her out. She's one of my biggest supporters, and I've swatted her down 1,000,000 times for saying, IllumiTommy this. And I'm like, no, I'll speak for me.
Yeah.
And she's still, Kay, you're $25.99. That's, I don't know what you're saying because you won't come up here and have a back and forth. I can't stand people like that. They're haters. Yeah. They just want to stay in the chat, say their thing. Then innocence, when you call them out, they're like, oh, me, why are you so worried? Because you follow me around from channel to channel trying to do this.
So let's drop it now, Special K, because you had your chance to come up. And you could have said hello, and that's like you said, and you could have said hello, and then you could have gone back down to Gaia, down to Earth down there. But you didn't, and you had your chance. And thanks for being here. And please don't try to span up the chat talking about something that's not on topic. I get it. The chat has its own life, and they speak to each other and whatnot. However, we're trying to stay on topic. There's some good, juicy questions because we're trying to find the lore here, bro. This is NPC the game, and we're all about narratives and whatnot. And we got a great narrative right here. And so Neurojack's in the chat. What's up, Neurojack?
Yeah, he is.
Let's talk about the N-word. We already talked about that. I mean, what do you want to talk about, man? It seems like white guys, like in general, they love. Wait, hold on, Tommy. Excuse me, respectfully. It's like they fucking. I'm generalizing right here. They fucking love to say that this N-word. They're so fixated on it. It's like, is that the only reason why people want to be my friend? Sometimes is not you, but like
sometimes
so they can get so they can get their so they can get their N-word off. It's like
well,
a cathartic
that's like
experience.
Well, no, it's not about getting the N-word off. It's here's my black guy who agrees with me is why they want to chum me up sometimes. Like Paul was notorious for that. Paul's notorious for, hey, bro, I'm Italian. Don't you see? I'm N-word like you. I'm Italian. And it's like most black people are like, no, I don't see it. And okay, you are the one that never gets to talk to me because you let me cry about my dog, then you ran around saying I murdered my dog and I have no respect for you. So kick rocks. Good luck when I'm gone. Good luck getting your little narrative and who you want people to believe you are out when I'm gone. This is one channel I can't have that on. She's fake. Like she's being like Venus. They both want to say, I never get to talk to them again. No, that was my stream I did for you guys. Come up and work it out if we're friends. If not, be gone. I knew ye not.
Yeah. I'm okay. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm okay with ignoring the chat. Like, I usually do that anyway. That's because it's not usually flowing. And when it's like, whatever, I'm talking. It's an interview, man.
See, she's trying.
Larry King looking at the chat when he's talking to fucking.
To end my attention in the chat, she's trying to narc me out for hard R, and that's what made us. That's how we met, was on hard R. She wants to just go off of, and I'm using her as an example of what you can watch for with all these Panelverse people. They're just going off of a history that is only what they've taken into their skull when they've chosen to watch, and they can't keep up with the whole thing. And now she'll just paragraph. I'll ignore it because your hosty advice, but she's just going to spam out the rest of the show.
Yeah. Okay, man. He's a guest, and my word's not his. He's feeling uncomfortable, so I might have to block. If that's
I'm not uncomfortable. I'm only uncomfortable that
Tom,
I'm gonna.
That's why I said my words. I'm giving you an out. You're not uncomfortable because you're a man. Of course you don't feel comfortable. And since that was my take on it, bro. Because if you keep doing that, like, I appreciate you here, but just be chill out, bro. We're in Cali now, via Taiwan, so we don't.
Oh, that's the worst place to have me chill was Cali. I couldn't go with Benton to Cali because I was like,
what's wrong with Cali, man?
They've removed guns as much as almost as much as China. There's a few ways you can still have some guns in Cali and Canada, but
too bad they missed our CCP joke.
Right?
To reset that. Yeah.
How many C's is it for China? It's CCP.
It's
because I forget what it stands for. Communist
Chinese Communist Party. Right? Okay,
yeah.
And then they call Taiwan the Rock.
Made plays off of that.
They call Taiwan the Rock, Republic of China. They don't call them Taiwan.
Oh, nice.
They can't refer to them as that. Mortal enemies that actually love each other.
Now, are you forever there, or will you guys move back eventually?
Nah, we're moving back. That's the plan. Moving back. Getting the little one, my 6-year-old. Bodie Benjamin, he's in first grade, about to go in first grade, so we want to get the Chinese down, the Chinese language down, and then move back probably before junior high. At least we still have a house here, so this will be a home base, but definitely want to go to America or somewhere else, back to America.
And if he's 6 and you're saying around junior high, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, granted, we can still access the internet and talk to each other by then. I wouldn't be surprised if things change to where you're like, I don't know if we can get back into America. And
no, for sure.
Just like do you know Nat Chiquita? Are you aware of that channel?
Of course, that's the big.
Uh,
He's the big metaphysical. Like, yeah, he's seven seven
he's a
seven crow. Yeah, he
right,
seems
right.
kind of
I've
angry,
been
bro. Seems kind of
Yeah,
angry.
he's become angry. He's become
Yeah.
angry over the time, and I've played off of Crow 777 work that I continued on. Like they thought the banker bloodline ended in the 1600s. I picked it up from the 1600s and brought it to the founder of Ripple Play, which is part of that one world coin we're going to. So that's where
Mm-hmm.
I had gotten in with Rose, but now I'm like, Rose has chosen the way of the garbage. Like she's just as drama and garbage as that's what happened in Nachikita. Like he got a little bit of numbers and now he's
Mm-hmm.
angry. And he
Mm-hmm.
used to be angry at me because I stand on this as a globe. Don't tell me it's not globe. I'll prove it. But
Yeah.
we were still endearing about it. And now I feel like Rose talks about me and Nachikita beef more than me and Nachikita had beef. But that's why I'm kind of walking away from all this for a while. It's all just, in my experience, getting ridiculous.
Yeah. We got somebody who wants to say hi real quick. Neurojack. Let me see.
Bring one up. Like you
What's up,
kind of
Neurojack?
give me a black Neurojack vibe.
Oh fuck! I don't know if that's a compliment or a backhand compliment or what.
You're one
No,
of us.
Probably
it's
it's a
in a,
backhand compliment.
You're one of us.
no,
White-
you guys. What's up, Neuro?
I said he's one of us whiteys now.
No, you
fuck
guys
that.
both give me
Nah.
that vibe of like I think you guys are both intelligent, and sometimes the intelligence I see in you, I feel like I'm like, why are you questioning yourself this hard whenever it's like with Neurojack as a Christian, I'm like, dude, if you're a Christian, I think you should be making more stance than questionable stance these days. And sometimes I'll hear MPC like question himself or question some things where I'm like, come on, man, you're bigger than this. You know already, but I might not be there. I might be time traveling to see the event.
Well, what do you think about Rand? Rand stands on a lot, but then, he doesn't like when people push back on him. You know what I mean?
Rants?
Yeah.
Rants and Cage are two people I've stood on. They'll never be on my panel, and I've never let them on my panel. Rants, I think, is absolute garbage. He's also a flat earther.
Yeah, he nuked his account, and then he just came back a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I think flat Earth is Tommy's hard R. I think that's like his drop plan in the sand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous because they all say, if you just show me how it's globe, I just switch to globe. And now they've even reached on to, let's say it's a plate that's rising, despite all the proof of globe.
Yeah. I think your guys are just staring at a map either way and not looking at the terrain in terms of like, I thought flat Earth was a litmus test and a thought experiment. It doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't matter to me either way.
Okay,
I've
pointed that out though. This is one of my things I've looped. Yes, in the sewing YouTube, in the how to ride a motorcycle YouTube, cooking YouTube, all those flat Earth doesn't matter. In the truther sphere, where we're allegedly speaking truth, now it matters more than anything because you only need two eyes and a continuous attention to the sky to see it's very much globe. We've known since six.
No, I just wanted to say that that's what confused me is like I never understood why people were so passionate about it has to be flat or round. Like I generally say it
has to be the truth.
Right. Well, and the thing is, you can't prove either way conclusively, but it's much easier. No,
that's what I just said, Neurojack. You can prove it's a globe because that is what it is, bro. And the only respect I've given the community is rather than just saying let's resort to the footage, I try and do them like we're in the 600s BC where we knew it was globe and how they knew. I try and stand on that before they even start saying show me pictures for proof, even though they deny pictures for proof.
Well, it all goes back to occultism. I think that's the sad part. Is like either way you go, you're looking at occultism at some level. But I get your point.
Well, I think the cultism and the psyop is that this far into the future of knowing it's a globe, you can take this many people and increase those numbers of not realizing you're on a globe. The psyop is getting you motherfuckers back to flatties.
Yeah. I went back and forth, and the thing is too, I think one way what it would matter is if you're trying to promote yourself too. Like that's why I would be like take a hard stance on it, just to be, just so people remember me. Because who are you going to remember if you go on a panel about flat Earth if you don't like, oh, it can go either way, or someone that says no, fuck yeah, it's flat, and you motherfuckers are idiots for thinking so,
Well, I think
And
that's
the
the thing. That's the problem. I think for me and Tommy is like they just make it a spectacle rather than about anything close to the truth.
because
And I
it's
think
not
that's
about the facts. It's not really about a
Right.
flat earth. It's they have a thing that they don't want to believe anything that they hear. And I'm trying to say globies weren't told it was globe. You can see it for yourself, and they don't want to hear that out. But that's one of the things that was triggering me about this work I was working on before I got here is they use all these terms that are globe related. Like when me and MPC are discussing, it was 3 p.m. here in America of my time when we started. It's 3 a.m., 4 a.m. where he is. That's because globe. And even Zetetic Warrior will reference time zones. That's all a globe thing. And you can tell by half your viewers that dropped on this that we've
It did.
triggered them on that. Yeah,
It did.
that's one
What
thing
the
I wanted
fuck?
you to be aware of. Yeah.
God damn. It's that's
But don't
wicked.
be in it for the views. Like, don't be in it for the
No, for
live
sure.
numbers. And I've tried to make my stuff viewable after it's not live for people that can get their dopamine like that. A lot of these people just show up because it's live. They don't care who it is as long as it's live. That's why some people show up.
Well, their particular dopamine release has to have a live component. Is that what it is?
That
to get their rocks
response,
off?
yeah, like the response to their chat. Like we were giving Kay her dopamine, whether it was positive or negative, we responded live to her chat, so she was getting what she came for. Because dopamine is everything. Like from killing food as a primitive man or mating as a primitive man to doing heroin today, it's all just releasing dopamine for a reward.
Right. And so I wanted to ask, because I feel like we can't really move forward as people unless we solve this hard R issue.
Oh my god.
Because I think you're always going to hold that against me, or because I don't say it, but I don't shy away from it either. So I'm kind of curious what you guys resolved on that thing, because I think it always hold over our heads. And
well, hard R
one thing is me and
is
Tommy are
good
from the
when
same.
you're saying brother. Like
Sorry,
Shadow Buddha in the chat. NPC the game is Shadow Buddha's brother. But in Christ, Neurojack, you're allegedly my brother. Like hard R brother.
Yeah.
That
was the first time I heard that, the hard R. The brother.
Like,
that was
I've also been triggered by one of the first channels that Paul tried to sick on me in the black sectors. He was going to them, say, we got this guy IllumiTommy. He loves to say hard R. He loves to have his chat do the hard R tower. I went straight to him. I went and found them. Like, I heard you're looking for me. And when he was starting to cook with me in the future, I have streams where he's doing a redneck accent. And when this black man says hard R, I went, wow, you kind of, I know what you're saying. I almost felt it a little bit there to hear a black man hard R as a southern accent. I'm like, you almost triggered me there.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Is this the epitome of racism? Is it just the use of an at or is that what it all comes down to? I believe not.
Yeah, I mean, words are words, just words, but they trigger people with trauma and stuff. And
sharp as a
people. We talked about this earlier before we went on stream, Tommy and I, and I was saying, like, if he was a straight racist, I wouldn't be engaging with him probably, or maybe for some content for a second, but I wouldn't have an affinity for what he has to say in this channel. But a real racist literally wants to hurt people, right? They may say, they may not even say verbal racial slurs. They may be covert,
exactly,
but they hurt.
Yeah,
so yeah. So with that said, though, Neurojack, Tommy, whoever was listening, Panelverse, the way Blaxican NPC the game feels it, especially in my house right here, I don't fuck around like that. I don't call people racial slurs and shit because that's how I do. And if you do that in your house, that's cool. You're a man. You can do.
But that just takes us back to that's my thing is besides the two I'll point out, has anybody ever gotten those receipts of me directly aiming that at anyone and saying, you hard R? Because I'll say any phonetic sound I want, and there's no human that's going to say I don't have the
Right.
freedom, the First Amendment right, freedom to say the things. But I agree. I also can hear some things said to me on the street, and I'm probably going to swing on you. Because I've challenged other black people of, oh, if someone does call you a hard R, is that when we can do violence over words? And even Joe Cool was challenged over that.
So cool.
Well,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to kind of get this out. It's like, you know, it's really about a lot of things at once. So I don't want to just oversimplify it, but first of all, me and Tommy have a similar
I can't
cultural
see
background.
Neurojack ever over and simplifying anything. That's not your. That's not your.
Well, I can, but I try not to because that's when I'll get swung on. I'm pretty sure. So, so
Go ahead, Jack.
So that's the thing is. So look, the thing is like let me ask you something, Blaxican. So like you're identifying yourself in that way, right? And so if I go and I say, you know, I'm Mr. Mustache Guy or whatever, right? I mean, like, is that okay? Is that okay, or is that just like a cultural identity, right?
Well, if you say you're Hitler, I'll say.
Or you know, something like that, you know.
If you're a neo-Nazi, is that okay? You're saying?
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
he's actually Blaxican. He's actually Mexican and black. Are you German?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna. Yeah, it breaks down even further. Not that I like have. My wife got me the ancestry.com, and I already knew this and shit. I'm actually like large percent Spanish, European, literally Spain shit, as well as Mexican and black. Yeah. So
did you see the LeVar Burton thing? Did you see the LeVar Burton thing, the Reading Rainbow guy? He was jumping on board with a lot of this Me Too racism stuff, and they revealed to him on live TV his great-great-grandfather was like a 4-star general of the Confederate Army. And when it showed their pictures side by side, it's like that's where his facial hair, his pointy goatee came from, was this 4-star general for the Confederate Army, and he was devastated on TV. Yeah, man. It's like to do the reparations thing. Does he realize how many people would be open? Like, do you realize how many white people would be in line for reparations and how many black people wouldn't get reparations just over that DNA testing? It's insane.
Yeah, we've seen it with the Native American thing too. You know, the whole thing, buying the land for a nickel. Some people that they were just legally got their notoriety.
Before we get away of our pre-stream talk, I also want to address what I had pointed out, that the real racism that's left, it will not show itself. Like, I'll stand with anyone that can prove they got a bad rap in court, or they lost a job, or didn't get a job, or they were assaulted over. But any real racism that's left for those reasons already knows to hide any aspect of that. A judge is not going to look racist when he racistly hands out verdicts and things.
Right. It is. If people can pinpoint that and bring it up, let's see. Like, show your receipts, right? Definitely. Yeah. I have to say though, like the Panelverse is not my first rodeo. Like, I've been doing content and live streaming since 2012, 2013, and I was, you know, fucking with black nationalists and neo-Nazis used to come and call into our show, Hebrew Israelites and some serious people, like gangsters, GDs and all that shit, and just for
Hebrew
talking about
Israelites.
this stuff. So it's like, bro, this is not a big deal to me.
Well, let me give you a scenario, and again, I know this is going to be contentious, so stand by for a moment.
Just roll with it, Neuro. You're always doing the intros. I didn't vote for Trump, but I'm not racist. But just roll with it, man. It's my interview.
Okay,
just roll it out.
So if you were in East Oakland, in DC, and you were with your wife or her parents or something, and some gentlemen of a certain, you know, color decided to do something to your
He's gonna make me say
mother-in-law.
hard R if he keeps doing that.
Nah, please.
Mother-in-law and you know, hurt her and put her in the hospital for a month or something, right? Now,
Okay.
would that
Even though
word
she's
come
dead
to,
already.
would
Rest
that
in
word
peace.
would that word come to mind, or
When it comes to mine, of course, if it's you want me to say all the words like Tommy, if it was if the hard R would come out, the I hate you. If it was a Chinese person do it, the the chink, all that, you know what I'm saying? The Jew,
exactly
he, all that. I mean, that's the first
right,
thing you do
right.
when, honestly, when you don't know who the person is, you don't have any
Well,
context.
so I'll tell you. Usually, when that word comes to mind, it's a guy who looks like me who's doing a stupid behavior like what we're describing. So, is it racist if that word comes to mind when I'm looking at a white guy with the same behavior that we're discussing? Right? See what I mean? It's like it's more about the behavior than it is about the person,
I mean,
color, or something, right?
technically, yeah, it's not racist because it's not. But then again, it's like my thing. I'm keeping it simple with the race. I see race for sure. It's a real thing, a real construct that people live and die for. However, bro, I'm more interested in this dichotomy: you're either a dickhead or you're cool, and that's and that's my 2 cents on it. Like,
No, I feel
Because
it. Yeah, I
you
do.
didn't
you know what
have
I mean?
to get rid of all white people to see that black people left to their own devices will berate the one that's lighter skinned. And there's still white people that exist.
Well, yeah. They'll not only that, even the ones that are dark as the Sudan, they'll end
Yeah,
up
then
fighting
it's
each
like
other
there's a dark
because.
level that gets harassed. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, they'll harass themselves no matter what color they are because it's about thinking about the guys I used to hang out with in the other Panelverse 2013. Like we were more about it's about the within, not the skin. What's your mentality? What are you
Hmm.
talking about? What words are you like? Who are you really?
Hmm.
That's because if people there's a revolution and black people take over again, the mindset's not corrected yet, so there's gonna just be some other bullshit hierarchy,
Well,
subjugation. So
it's not
same with
really
white.
the overall subjugation has nothing to do with race because both with the badge and with economic success, you'll see that black people will just join in and also not be berated. Like if you look at the Ben Carsons or black cops that are going to be on a neck when they got a guy down, you just
Right.
once you're inducted into a thing, the idea of the melanin difference, it just goes away.
Yeah.
And that's
It does.
whenever you're saying what is the person about, that is another layer of me using all the words. It's do these black sectors bother to ask me, or do they just make a judgment and roll with it? So there is an aspect of that in it.
It's just, it's judgment because it's about showing up and confronting. People don't like confrontation. They may say they do and whatnot, but when
Hmm.
it comes down to it, you give them the link or you give them the schedule to be on the show. They don't. I mean, people don't
Hmm.
show up. Like
Right.
you have your chance. People have their
Oh,
chance, but
that
it's
is
like
what I wanted to
so,
touch on for you. When you were talking about
okay.
how you've done some videos and some streams where you're like throwing the ats, like adding at people to link them, um,
Yeah, yeah.
there is a level of that has to be disregarded because anybody on YouTube, whether they make videos or not, we're all
Mm-hmm.
technically a channel now because of that Google
Mm,
link that they've crammed it all together. So you'll
yeah.
have nobodies trying to link you, and I don't mean nobody's like I'm better than them, but you'll have
Mm-hmm.
people that aren't really doing anything. They want your attention and they want to get involved. That's why I can't keep that goblin dude from making videos, and K's over there spamming
What?
his comments because he hates on me. He's just trying to get that interaction to be relevant. And I'm like, I've covered your thing. I've put it to the ground and you got nothing left. And so depart, And so people are watching out for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think you are valid. You have some good points and subjects that I would help you find a way to get on their radar to show it's not just clout chasing or bullshit
Right.
like there is a
Right.
lot of going on.
Well, and let me ask you, NPC, if you don't mind, like, what was your experience in the other communities that you had to deal with gang warfare and those mentalities and stuff like that? Did you ever have to deal with that kind of stuff? Or?
Gang warfare. I mean,
in media production and stuff like that.
Oh, you mean and making content? Nah, just GDs and Vice Lords, for example, would call into our show sometimes and talk shit. And the funny thing is, the more they listen to the show and try to troll or whatever, like the more they would agree with us a lot of times. Because like our main component was whether you're a gangster or like a neo-Nazi or just a regular dude or ex-Christian or whatever. I was stressing critical thinking. Using critical thinking.
That's what it is. Some people aren't even capable of critical thinking.
Well, but what I mean is, like, I don't know if you're. I mean, maybe you haven't seen enough of this sphere, but I mean, there's groups of people that you'll never know they're actually working together against you the whole time. They'll be your friend. They'll be against you.
That's the neurojack. That's the neurojack rabbit hole. Is in that same statement. That's why you can't convince him. There's not always a reason they're working together, or there's no reason for them to be. But that speculation, neurojack, you're always ready with that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like in the early days, in the early days of when we were all Spider-Men pointing at each other saying agent, what kind of payroll is required when we'll step on each other's toes naturally? Why do I have to work for someone? She's going to keep spamming if you keep sharing her spams and not making her come up here. Yeah, that's going to enable her to keep chatting and not hit that link.
The devil doesn't have to give you pay to organize people to do the devil's work, right?
Right, so that's why I stand against not just yours, but a lot of the time people propose agent or paid agent, pogo, if you will. I'm like, why? Why can't they just be somebody meddling in this shit for the laws or whatever reason? It doesn't mean they have to be a team.
But you and I and other people, we have seen that there is some larger game afoot. And whether they're aware or not, these people are basically combatants on the field, essentially, right? So,
well, that's all there is in the beast system, Neuro. That's the Christianity side. I keep telling you, like the team is. It's like the agents. They don't have to know they're agents if they're still plugged in. They can possibly be an agent at any time, and that doesn't mean they're all coordinated. It's like when people think that every little election and every outcome has to be coordinated. No, there's key elements that are controlled by the powers that shouldn't be, and then anything down the line that happens is irrelevant. Like take the mark of the beast. If you're going to instate a mark that's required to buy and sell, think of how many happenstance things in politics are irrelevant once you know you're going to instate this mark to buy and sell. Once you're going to control the world's money through a digital coin, what is relevant to what you need to control beyond
exactly
that?
Right. No, exactly. I agree with you on that. And I think that's really what I'm trying to get at is like people are playing these stupid games thinking that we're all enemies or it's all fun and games. But like you said, really at the end of the day, we're all headed for the same bullshit. And that's what I'm trying to really get people to see is like, whatever racial or bullshit differences, like we're all mixed up. I mean, I'm from the South, you're from the South. We have the same like culture essentially. And the thing is, I think for whatever reason, we have a little bit more clarity. I've been in California a long time. I think people here are in more of a bubble than in the South, definitely. You know, and again, what I mean by that is like when I go home, people have been so demoralized, but they're still aware that they've been demoralized. Here in California, they've been demoralized, but they don't see how incredibly devastating the demoralization has been. See what I mean? And I think that's where I kind of...
And I see it, man. I even say in Denver, there's something that never got right after the stay homes. Like once the stay homes were over, there's something that never got 100 back with Denver. Like it's still
the same in Cali. People don't understand. I'm telling you, I get the front row seat for the rest of America. I'm 10 years ahead of you guys. I'm telling you, I know exactly what's going to happen, and America is going to be in a very bad state.
And I'd say NPC's that too. Like China's a testing ground for what they're going to do here.
It's the program, the beta for the tyranny, definitely.
Well, yeah, and I think China. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Nora.
Australia,
Go ahead. Let
China,
it off.
Canada, they're all beta tests.
Yeah,
for-
I was just going to say
Yeah.
that China. Yeah, I do think that China is way ahead. And again, this is why I think people were concerned China's going to invade or whatever. And again, maybe they will. I don't think. I think China can't even barely keep their own population breeding and alive. So I just think that if you look at really what's going on in China, I think China's very
That's not good,
desperately
bro.
holding on, in my opinion. But
There's a great
But
channel
it's
called
all-
China Observer, which tells you the real news about how everyone's unemployed.
yeah, I watched
Most
that.
people are
I watched
unemployed.
that exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
I
bad.
watched that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of what I've been trying to get across from my channel for almost 2 years. What you guys are talking about is valid, but when we go to a digital currency, they're not broadcasting that every government in the world will lose their power over their currency, and that makes all our petty little country versus country things irrelevant. We're going to the one world thing sooner, probably in our lifetime. We'll see the one world thing, whether it's let known in name or whether people don't realize it.
I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah, because it's the bridge currency. Your phone may say the digital dollar, his may say the digital yen or whatever, but it's all going to travel as the same digital coin, and it'll just be in the name of what you want when it comes to you and gets to your phone or your thing.
So
Well,
there will be even more of a gulf between the rich and the poor, because there's going to be, as Tommy alluded to sometimes talking about his situation, there's going to be instant at one point. It's because of the bridge currency. There's going to be instant multi-millionaire billionaires, whereas
And
people
what
who
is
don't
it-
even have
what is
any
it
coin
called?
are going to be fucked. Yeah.
What's the
Go ahead.
system called where you have serfs and nobles? Feudalism.
Feudal.
Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Feudalism, correct.
we will go to a future style of digital feudalism where you may find yourself not owning land but living on someone's land in exchange for their
Now-
noble ass lets your
Now-
serf ass cooperate
now,
like
see-
that.
Now, see, I just want to say one thing really quick, because I want to say that, like, Tommy, I 100% agree with you on that. And you'll realize that when you say that in these truther circles, you will get attacked irrationally for saying that. And I think that is
Yeah,
very
2 years and counting.
curious.
Yeah.
So, again, this is like one of these things where you have to really start to think, like, why is that being gate kept so hard?
Well, and
Right.
sometimes I see how that gives you the notion of team or agent, but also you got to remember it's just going to trigger people's cog dis of what they want the future to be. And I'm kind of saying what they don't want it to be. And I'm talking to you, Jack Talcott. What they don't want it to be is already what is and decided. And it's at the flip of a switch, literally.
Yeah, I thought actually I was going to meet Jock Telcott. I was preparing myself today. I thought he would be up here.
He might be live right now if he didn't stop by. He might be live. But just the fact we've mentioned that, someone's probably already in his chat saying, they want you over at NPC.
Yep, that's exactly right.
That's how you get your name out. If you want to know in this point in the game how to get your name out, is just that's the way your controversy or lack of is going to have the chat. The chat is like the bees that will spread that pollen, where they're real time going to go to another channel and say, hey, they're talking about you over here.
Yeah, and if he does come over, guys, I'm gonna play this, and I mean this respectfully, Jack. No disrespect. I think you're interesting, dude. If you come over there, I gotta play this. So, where's the commercial? Our first sponsor.
Oh yeah.
I knew it. You're a Chinese agent.
Like then you're not getting paid for it.
Our
It
first
is
sponsor
nifty
today
to
is
see
Volkswagen.
your ads. It's nice to
Yeah.
see your ads versus American ads that we catch.
Right.
Because I was watching one of your streams when it wasn't live where you got that ad for the AI girlfriend. You just let it play to see what it was
Let it
about.
play. Yeah, we were like,
Yeah.
ooh, what is that? Yeah. Yeah. And now I'm like, bro, this is the sponsor. I'm having fun with it. Like, this is this hour's sponsor right here.
There's Jack Talcott. Yeah.
Here we go. Here's when I think of Jack Talcott.
Lesbian seagull.
Might help you cope with some of those feelings. Okay? It's called lesbian seagull. She flies so gracefully over rocks, trees, and sand.
I love you, brother.
Peace.
Gently floating down to land. She proudly lifts her voice.
Neurojack and the boys coming to get you.
Responds by singing.
Was this from the movie?
From the movie, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Lesbian
Seagull.
Settle down and rest with me.
Me.
See you, Jack. Now that's a that's a kick. Ben Thorpe did nothing compared to that kick right there. No.
Right.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jack Telcott. Who's up here? Somebody's up here. Who's Ezra? Oh yeah, Ezra. Okay, let's see.
Oh, she'd wait forever if you'd give her 5 minutes of this.
Let's see. Let's bring her up real quick. What's going on? How are you? Nice to meet you.
Tommy, I promise I'm gonna be
she's got her
good.
sexy
NPC,
picture up.
you and I actually know, and Neurojack from TML. So
Okay.
there's been
Shout out
some
to
really
TML.
good. I'm not here to disrupt. I'm only here to, engage. Tommy, don't get your panties in a.
You
in a
guys are
fluff hole.
triggering me. Both. I was working on the sequel to and you and Neurojack, every time you've dropped a my brain hears it and it wants to like break that off of the clip and. Oh, you guys are triggering me.
Is it that Midwestern nice? Like we have that, hey, like the Canadian.
No, it's not Neurojack. It's RT says every other fucking word, and even after I made the first it hasn't made him any more self-conscious to get a rap on it. All of us will say
Well,
yeah, that's a good point. I've heard that too. And
the thing is,
realized, yeah,
you gotta know about Talcott as well. Talcott is Northwestern Pacific, and so he's the mean Mr. Mustache guy that everybody's like, oh, he's just a peaceful, loving hippie. You'll find out.
Yeah.
Hey, Tommy was there to hear it. Tommy was there to hear it. Am I right, Tommy?
He's
0 to 60 real quick. Like his trigger control is not.
But Jack is my example of I was way ahead of everybody very early with Jack, where people still think he's just this sweet, nice guy, and it's like, dude, you're behind on how many families he's not achieved, how many baby daddies he is, and he won't give you a solid story on any of it while asking you to help reconcile and get whichever of his families back he wants back.
Right.
He's got 2 marriages, 3 baby mamas that I know of.
Damn,
really?
Wow.
That's base.
Yeah.
That's base right there. That's base.
That's
Right?
something.
He's
That's
competing.
something.
He's competing with Chalk Body Outline on the number of marriages and baby mamas he has.
How much is that? Is that guy like a Wedo, like a white Mexican or something?
Who? Chalk Body?
Yeah, just a white dude.
He's just a white dude. That's my proof that white
Like
people aren't a
something
team, because
Yeah.
with CBO and TBE, I'm as much against them as anybody you might see.
Yeah.
All my real enemies, except for Snafu, are all white.
There's no.
Now, I didn't say all right. I said all white.
Okay, Jesse. Oh man. No, but you guys are living in the white paradigm. You said everyone says some people say you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
too,
right.
In other words.
And it's not the act of it's how much RT does it that made me triggered enough to make videos about it. It's actually
Does
a short
bother
video.
you?
I get it.
I say that a lot. I say that a lot.
It depends. And I have a lot of my own pauses because I'm trying to collect my words and give an efficient answer. But some of these guys, if it bothers me enough that I make a video about it, you probably can assume they do it a little over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. So how are you doing, Ezra? I greeted you. You didn't say nothing, but that's okay.
Thank you.
How are you? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
You too.
So
mild connection through. We're both in TML's Discord and have had.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
but-
TML. What's your thoughts on
I like
TML, Tommy? Wait.
Go
She's
ahead.
gonna talk about me. I gotta hear this.
No. This is
No, I want to hear
Tommy's
this. No,
interview. Not about me. This is about Tommy. Go ahead, Tommy.
it's about
And
Tommy,
she's
but it's also about me
She's got to
too.
consciously focus on that because she will subconsciously always bring it back to Ezra's life. I'm not hating on her; it just is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
But
with me.
you
checking
might
it.
be a bit of a narc. I don't know. But TML, I
Not
will
quite, but
always
go ahead.
say
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him to boot you, Ezra. That's not a flattering picture there, but
I don't care.
you're like part of the transgender movement with that picture, thinking you can do what men do. But TML, I've always pointed out when everybody thought I was dead or speculated it, I think he was probably one of the first emails I got. One of the only people to think I'll email him and see if he responds. And but he does have his own thing where I feel like there's his trigger points make him give up too fast. Like he used to be hard against TBE, and it was rightful. Like him and TBE had a legit feud, but now rather than actually handling it, he's trying to say, "Oh, TBE is just some guy that makes videos about me." I was like, well, less than a year ago, you were saying this is your good friend, this is your props, which I think he does that too soon. With if you meet him, kind of the way Jack gives out wrenches, if you're like, "Hello, Jack Talcott," boom, he wrenches you. TML is kind of like, as soon as you meet him, he's like, "This is my good friend. He's all the compliments," and I'm like, maybe just hold off and further that interaction and see what you really think of someone.
Yeah, he's really been kind to me. He's a friend of mine, and maybe that's what you're talking about. And I'm cool with him. I enjoy his content.
Still like him, but when he fucks up, I immediately tell him, because sometimes he fucks up hard. Like I just made that video in memberships about Bex. There was a night that he was gonna free range panel, let me and Bex go at it, but all it ended up being was he let her have like 15 minutes to go in on me, and then when it was my turn, he brought everybody back up and ended the thing. And I was like, "Oh, you fucked up. Like now she just gets to stand on all that and I don't get to respond. You fucked up." So I'm just honest with people. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I like you. I might put more effort in to reconcile if I like you, but I'm not sparing anyone bullshit or truth. And like Kay's still just spamming away, and I'm not reading it, bro. But she got told a number of times, "Come the fuck up or shut the fuck up," and she will disregard that.
Yeah. So this is something else I got on.
What was that? Ezra? Where's that picture?
I just said find your son. Mostly Decay too, but it goes for everybody.
Now, Ezra, how do you feel about my stance on Venus, where I say you can't be a Zen nihilist because those two words would not cohabitate? Can you be a Zen nihilist?
No, and you can't, like, even when I say find your Zen, it doesn't mean that's like the ultimate, definition of what we've been told that is. Like, you ultimately have to have chaos to have your light. So however you have to find your balance with that is in your own, field.
But wouldn't nihilism be too far of a swing of the pendulum to still be Zen? Isn't Zen like that true neutral-minded om?
Yeah, but what is balance? Balance is chaos and the light. So until you truly accept the chaos, you can't accept the light. Does that make sense? So people say Zen all the time.
Well, I understand that.
Like ultimate peace, right? Like, and without chaos at all or contradiction. What is constricting?
Well, I understand the chaos, because Zen is where we get happiness in heaven is not happiness. Happiness in hell would be that happiness. But I'd also say consider the source of who's saying Zen nihilist. I just think it's a bunch of bullshit. But also, as a Christian, I'll acknowledge know that it's like not a Zen person.
And I know you know this too, Tommy. Like, I know you can feel this with me in these skeets. It's like, from one day to the next, you're a friend and an enemy or a frenemy or whatever the fuck. And it doesn't really matter in the big scheme of it. I know you know that.
There's a level that I agree, but that's also how I make my stances, is how that changes and why it changes.
Like, Tommy, if you see somebody that you consider a friend, like on an enemy's panel, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking like, I can't fuck with that person? anymore?
No,
or-
it does depend on their interaction. That's kind of how I got on how Rose got on my bad foot. Is she came on my panel one night, and I know Rose has this tendency, whether on purpose or inadvertently, she'll kind of come on and hijack and take over because some panels will let her do it. And I think she crossed the line with this guy that's in my memberships. He's diagnosed schizophrenic. And on a YouTube sense, she was sitting on my channel saying, "Oh, being diagnosed schizophrenic it's not a thing. Schizophrenia isn't a thing." And that's like coming on saying jab
Ooh.
mask things, you know? Yeah. So I negate. I was like, hey. I like put a stop to that real quick. But
Not a
also, this dude comes to my channel and I appreciate him openly talks about the issues he's suffering from. Schizophrenia is very much a thing, you know? But
Yeah.
so she spent a lot of that panel saying, "Oh, I'm getting tired. I should take off." And I was even like friendly style being like, "Yeah, I should boot you out because you're just tired, but you keep hijacking." So when she finally does leave after being so tired and worn out, she went over to Flow State for like 4 more hours. And then at the end of that said, "Oh," and here's the thing, Ezra, at the end of that visit, she was like, "Oh, and I just wanted you to know, I didn't want to go up on Tommy's panel. I didn't want to do it." And I'm like, "You hijacked it for hours, and why would you not want to come up?" And then when I confronted her with that offline, she saw no issue with it. She didn't understand why I would take offense to it. So this Panelverse fucking blows my mind constantly.
You do, Tommy. You do know who I was associated with, like before you knew me. Like the people I did logo work for. Yeah, like, and
no,
I didn't.
I'm
and
trying
I was
to remember where I even came.
I have never been a flat earther ever, and I said that to these people when I came into it. But I
Oh,
ended
you
up
mean
working
the panel I met you on? I know, I remember what you're talking about. The panel that I met
partly
you
with
on, you're
Bernie,
saying?
but prior to Bernie is like autodidactic that connected with Ledkey. And now what's hilarious about Row 77.
Well, that's not where I met you. I met you. I'll just say it. I met you at
Bex? I'm sorry, go
if
ahead.
it wasn't Bex, it was the guy that was on London Man all the time. Now that you want me to say it, I forgot his name. I'll have to
I can't
go
think
to
of it
my
either.
subscriptions. It's his name is a phrase, I think. He sounds like he's a US black dude, but I think he's on one
Wait,
of
you
those
don't
islands.
like Tommy? You don't like phrase names like "not your problem"? That shit was funny.
Right,
Going on.
right. Like,
Just 'cause
don't
you wanna really
judge
say
me
it.
and why them or you tell me. It's stupid, I think. But
Some of it.
I'll see.
Some of it, yeah.
You know, he's
Anyway, we don't need to get to where we know each other from, but yeah, like it's just
I just
interesting.
wanted to
that
shout
I
out
think
his
the
channel because
connection-
I ain't got nothing against him except maybe
it's
the
not.
flat
You're
earth thing.
thinking. You're not thinking. For some reason, I'm hearing HFM or what's his name? HF.
No, we might have crossed on Steve, but I knew Steve a long time.
No, that wasn't it because I've barely been on his channel.
It's the black dude that says fuck. I'm scanning my subscriptions right now because it's going to drive me nuts if I can't find it. And now you can't remember his name, but I think you know.
I know it's coming. It's right there. Hold on. Because I know this guy because he actually was a part of my project for a minute. Fuck. And all I can think of is why
somebody in the chat. He goes to London Man all the time. He's a black dude that's not in America. He got a lot of kids. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Okay, we need to drop this. This is hilarious though, because
yeah, I'm gonna keep looking while we talk.
And all I can think of is the wrong name right now in my mind. It's
right.
Hold on. I mean, if I did pull up my subs, because this is
it's where you originally were talking. You were originally talking about all the ways to own your land outside of like the taxation.
He's not necessarily the person I'm thinking of doesn't have that. I mean, he's very much on the herbal food forest kind of
say his name like to the chat and future viewers. We're not trying to protect any names. I cannot remember the dude's name. Huh?
Yo, is it the real something? Why can't I think of his name?
The Trillist. The realist. The Trillist. Because I'd call him the Trillist. But
Trillist.
Yeah, Realist McCoy. Realist McCoy. Thank you. Now I feel relieved of that weight. Realist McCoy is where I originally interacted with you.
Yo, shout out to McCoy. I feel so bad that took me so long.
Yeah.
like
Well,
that
it's not.
that's like
It's
the
been a while.
movie.
It's been a minute.
That movie where I'm the movie guy. The movie this that. But
Me too.
Ocean's 11, where George Clooney is telling Linus Matt Damon, like, okay, I want you to be this casino official, but I want you to be funny but not memorable. I want people
Yeah.
to get, enjoy your time with them but not remember you. And that's what you can't
Yeah.
even remember. Both of you guys can't even remember this guy's name.
No,
just
no,
crazy.
it's
No, it's not
it's
like
not
that,
even
actually.
it's
It's like a
not even
weird-
about the weight that he had or anything. It's any time in these streets, no matter what closeness or relevance or importance, if you just start me on it too fast, I'll just glitch in my head. Yes, I know who you mean, but I just lost the name because I want it too fast.
Yeah.
I think it's with age and things.
Because
But
I think
yeah,
actually
no
Tommy and I
disrespect
both
to
respect
McCoy.
him. Yeah, like we both actually respect McCoy because he actually, despite the fact that sometimes we can all take certain stances on really that's what we all do. We all come in here with a very strong perspective. We're here like being sort of some sort of vigilante. I kind of joke about righteous warrior activate. But we do sort of need to check this. In my personal opinion, that's my own perspective on how actual resonance frequency and our own health through emotions affect us. So when you take on that
And
character, you take on that righteousness, it
that's
incorporates into your own body, right? Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say about these motherfuckers,
Shit.
especially Special K, who doesn't understand that I can see that she's chatting and not have to read what she's chatting. If she can't grasp that, she's stupider than I thought. But I judge these people not just on their strong belief, but just like with her, Venus, Sherelle, Goblin, they said they were a thing to me, and now you can't get them to come up on a panel and see if we're still cool. They just want to hide and talk shit. That's where I start making my decision about them. Like MPC, we're new to each other, but I already get this vibe that if he ever heard I was out saying MPC actually a hard R, he's going to come to me and see if that's what really happened. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
right, and this chick
How are
down
you
there,
doing
she
this
can't
person?
be told to come up. She can't be told that Goblin's stream is also for that crew that has a problem. But they just want to keep having the problem, and that's a thing that hosts need to be aware of.
Would you guys
Mhm.
Like-
would you guys agree that we need to literally turn it off? If you're not turning it off for more than a day, that's potentially a problem. If you can't walk
That's
away
true.
from it for 12 hours or 8 hours even, like I do make
I don't even think that's long
is
enough.
part of my personal health projection.
Mhm.
Listen, if I just did a 12-hour, I mean, I had visitors like MPC and others. I literally just did a 12-hour stream and didn't feel like I needed to stop at the end, if not for the YouTube recording. I think if somebody's going to walk away, we got to start talking at the minimum, like days to a week minimum, just to start saying you walked away for an amount of time. When everybody thought I was dead, I left for 2 weeks, just off 2 weeks, letting people think I was dead. To actually get a break, a real break, and I don't mean you're watching and not participating. I mean just walk away and be oblivious to whatever's going on. That is a thing we need to start at like a week minimum, I think.
Exactly, a minimum. It's so hard for people not to even pick it up the first thing they do in the morning. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, like this is not what I do. When I wake up, I have a whole thing, and I have a whole little.
The way it's
I do
different
a
for
spreadsheet
hosts.
before I touch my phone. Go ahead.
And it's hard to stay for hosts because I can agree with some hosts. They've pointed out if they stop making content for a week or more, their subs go up. And I've seen that. Like if I quit doing my channel, my subs went up, and as soon as I started doing content again, my subs go down. And when MPC came to my last stream, all my viewers were like, "Oh, you're at 666 subs. You're at 66 subs." I said, "Just wait." And I literally dropped back to the original 658 that I had been at before it jumped up to 666. It's irrelevant to me.
Yeah, it's
for the most
crazy.
part.
Yeah.
I have another channel called Test Stream Podcast, and I don't post on it like for the last year, more than a year, and that thing keeps going up, bro. When I stopped posting, it was like at 700. Now it's almost at 900. I don't even really post anything on there.
Interesting.
Strange. Yeah.
See, I do notice that like when your views get to a certain point on on a video, I've noticed like there's sort of this odd projection once it gets past a certain point that it excels. But if it stays low, it sometimes won't perpetuate. Yeah. But I've also seen my numbers go above 100, and then they've cut my video count to keep it specifically below. It's not all the time. I'm not trying to like, make a thing about it, but I've noticed it. I'm not going to deny it.
Right. Since you're on here and now I know mindful exposures, like I was like, oh shit, that's her. You have a pretty successful channel, and I noticed you on Machine. Good. No, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
you moderate, you run your live stream pretty good, pretty tight. I like that, respect that. And I saw you on, I think you were on Machine the other day, right? With Based Oracle and Anna. Not Anna up there, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of strange, like the way he was talking to you. I didn't like that, man. Not that I'm quote unquote white knighting, but
sorry, who
and white knighting is more of a verb than equal to simp or beta orbiter. White knight, like I've white knighted for Christianity things. I think it's like taking a stance, like you're white knighting. But simps and beta orbiters do like to try to white knight.
Are you saying that that Muhammad was white knighting? Or base?
Muhammad. I thought base because it seemed like the women on there were trying to get their takes off, but I thought
and you've referenced a number of people from there.
What do you think about him, Tommy?
I think I think Pill Eater is finally coming around to my view of TML, where TML is a smart guy. He's got a lot to share and do. I think he entertains some of the stupidest motherfuckers for far too long. And now that I finally heard Pill Order, he didn't say it as harshly as me, but now that Pill Eater has remotely kind of entertained that, I feel better about, yes, there's some validation to that.
Well, I mean, how much time are we all spending on here? This is what I was just getting at.
Well, no, it's a difference between, I'm not saying spending time on here. Ezra, that's one of the things I've kind of came at you about is I've left TML because I'm like, are you just going to let Ezra camp up here and like loop this shit because it's getting us nowhere? I don't even remember the exact night or subject matter, but now I remember that situation was even like you got way too much microphone there on some occasions.
Oh, for sure.
And it's not about it's not about your competence or anything. Sometimes just off the subject matter, it's like, how long are you going to let Ezra talk about what men feel or something? And that's just a hypothetical.
No, I don't actually touch on that, but I do get into like, in-depth topics on like, on like energy, like quantum physics type 0 point topics, or if I get into heated on permaculture. And that's the one thing.
That's like the time
with that platform. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's like the time I said, "Oh, Jack Talcott's now going to tell us about quantum physics." Blah blah blah.
Well, I have a little. Come on, Tommy. You know my background. Like I have a way better validation over that man.
I give you credit where it's due. That's
like, I'm still a registered Tommy. I'm still a registered sleep technologist on top of. And
the reason we get along is because when I go at Ezra, she knows, even if anything in the long run, she knows why I was doing it when I was doing it. It's not like I've got a deep-seated ill will for her, but sometimes she does come up and forget what the subject or what panel she's on, and I don't. I like to have my time more efficiently used, so sometimes I check her, and in that go on to TML, like, do you see what I'm checking her, why I'm checking you for it now, and maybe you don't need to do a 12-hour stream if you could keep it on point.
Yeah, and comment from Shadow Buddha from the OC says you need to touch grass, as they say. Yeah, it's true. Some people need to get out there, bro. Me personally, I've been on sabbatical, on vacation from teaching, and I'm going back to school next week to teach. Summer's up, so I've been having this time, and I've been using it. I've been listening to these streams and streaming a lot, but it's not going to be nowhere as near as I've been doing, and which is good because it is a bit of brain rot. The people I've been coming across, and it's like I can see how it can affect my outlook on it. I don't like that.
So
but I can control it.
maybe in that time period, if you're already not going to be able to produce your own content as often, maybe take that time period, like let your channel know that you're just going to be visiting panels, and I would suggest make that the time. Good. I mean, it'll raise your sub count and the interest if you go show people what you're about, like what I did. And I didn't realize I was doing this because I never knew I'd pick up the camera, but I was going out just being what I was in relation to the panel I'm on. And I had over 100 subs before I even started a channel, you know?
Already they're waiting for you.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy, do
And
you
that's
like
a good
the panel?
that's a good way to discern if you should, because some people out here, they just take their phone, they start a channel, they wonder why it's going nowhere. It's like, I don't want to be the gatekeeper of this, but maybe you ain't got that chutzpah, you know? Maybe you just ain't got the thing, but anybody with a phone can attempt this. Freedom of opportunity, not freedom of outcome.
Right. This is literally how people socialize now. It's like the Jetsons and
MySpace 3.0.
3.0, yeah.
And
Tommy,
so the layers is some motherfuckers are still out here thinking they're going to be the next PewDiePie when they don't realize anybody can just pick up their phone and host a panel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where YouTube required that, hey, you went out and you got a computer of this grade and a camera and a microphone and you did a thing. Like PewDiePie kind of was first to market in the sense of, if PewDiePie started from scratch today, he's probably not going to be the gargantuan name of YouTube that he is, but his timing of entry, his timing of entry versus his own path and how it went down, he's still the premier name when you think of YouTube. And he survived the hard R.
He did, huh? And he won the Nazi. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing, though. Like, he is definitely. However, I'm lucky the fact that my son gives me an excuse to really peruse what's new on the streets in terms of YouTube, because he's watching reels and you know and stuff like that. And like, it's the URL streamers. Those are the people who are really killing it. Like IShowSpeed, the black kid from Ohio, and Aiden Ross, and these people. And not that I like their content, but it's interesting to see how those. You go on IShowSpeed stream, and there's 150,000 people watching live. It's ridiculous numbers. It's fucking.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I don't want. Like, it loses. It's the difference between a dive bar band in the audience and a gargantuan mega stadium with the band.
It's a face. All they're doing is it a podcast, or are they like actually interacting?
It's IRL. Yeah, they interact with their chat. This is why it's in the brain rot. You guys know brain rot. It's the new lingo. Saying
but are they like sitting in a room talking to the chat? Oh wait, this is Chat GPT? No, sorry.
No, their chat. They call their chat. Like how there's people in the chat right here. That's their audience, and they're literally just playing their video game or watching a video reacting to the chat.
How is that not anything like so these particular men, is it a group of
but
men?
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Oh yeah, there's women that do it, but the ones that I see on top are young men in their early 20s. But here's the thing: the URL streaming is they go out in public with their camera.
You mean
and
IRL,
they film themselves. IRL, excuse me. Thank you.
Yeah.
IRL. Yeah, that's probably why you're confused, because I was fucking it up.
No,
but
because URL is like the web address.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Now you okay? Yeah, they go out in public, and now the new thing is they go to like different countries now, and they stream and they get mobbed and stuff like that. So
some of them get checked too. One of them, I remember this black streamer, I can't even remember his name. He was showcased on some videos because he went over to like Japan or China and tried to act like US in the streets, and the common man.
Oh, no. He was, that's Johnny Somali. He's from America. He's from America, and he was just a douchebag, being super rude and being disrespectful, saying like, "Oh, we bombed Hiroshima." It's like this. Now he's. I think.
And these flat earthers don't believe that happened. They don't believe in nukes either. Isn't that crazy?
I've heard that. I would like to believe that. That sounds like very comforting, but it doesn't
Except for
seem
like
they
possible.
very much exist.
I have friends who were in the Navy who were decommissioning the nuclear subs. So you can
Right.
tell them.
And where was it on the coast? The one that melted down a few
Remington
years
in
ago.
Washington, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you know where I'm at.
People have lost their lives to trying to help a reactor not melt down as they were the last in there with the most
Yep.
radiation. And you think
Yeah.
we can't make a big boom boom off of that stuff? You think we haven't done that? Like there was Japanese families that hereditarily had mutations and deformities because that DNA rupture it does to you passes down for a few generations before it cleans itself up, and they just can't believe it. They don't believe that happened.
No, but see, that's the ridiculousness of it. It is backed up with science on the generational trauma end. They've proven through epigenetic mutation through the telomeres of your DNA at the tips of your DNA. This is how it occurs. So exactly what you're talking about. And Chernobyl has actually shown this through the years now of them coming back around that there's actually insects or particular bacteria that is grown in this environment due to the time span and the nuclear activity with the changes. So
yeah, there's places near Denver you're not supposed to go to because the buried radioactivity is still affected.
Yeah.
And there's places out in Utah like that.
So know your fallout zones. So this is actually something I've studied in the idea that, you know, especially with the West Coast and the fallout from a huge earthquake, you know, and then the idea that of course the nuclear fallout would fall with it, and Mount Hood, which was a ticking time bomb, right? So
is that the one up in Washington? The random fans.
No, Mount Hood is right alongside Portland, and the one that blew up, Mount St. Helens, is just north of there, where the caldera is building currently, and like at quite a rapid rate, a little bit more than expected. But Rainier is going to blow, so Rainier, Hood, that whole line. But below that is the Sisters, and that's not active, and that goes to Crater Lake, which is the seventh wonder of the world.
Okay.
And MPC, now that we've done this, like I said in private emails and stuff, there's only one time that we do the IllumiTommy interview, or the first time interview anybody. After that, then it's just like Panelverse people coming and going. So your streams I catch until I'm roofless. It'd be no problem if I pop on or off. And that's why I've not done it until this one, because we're all in one part playing the game of YouTube,
right?
And then in another part it's like, it's just the new social media.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a meta soul on digitally on YouTube. And feel free, Tommy, to like metaphorically, digitally, you can wash up on my spot. You take a shower. Take a shower.
Because while I'm ruthless,
if you need to go live, let me know. You need a panel. I got you.
That's what I'm saying. It's far more conceivable that while I'm ruthless, I may find spots and places I can pop on rather than try to wrangle my own hosting. I'll be like the new JG, only, like I said, man, the haters, you can tell who the haters are by trying to deny any idea that I want this, that I'm doing this for something that goes back further than my YouTube existence. And they show who they are. And I will admit, if anybody wants to see me actually rage, last night I did go on flow state for a number of reasons. There had been a long enough time I had abandoned him to show, here I am, you deny I'm the fairest panel, you claim you are the fairest panel, drop that link, and he does nothing but narcissist power games until I fucking break out. And that girl and the Sasquatch guy, they're just his flying monkeys now. Because it was kind of apparent to everyone, here I am on the panel specifically talk to Flow State, and they all take a turn getting in the way and getting in the middle until I just rage leave. And I was putting it to them, man. I was full throat, like I put it to them, and they just want to laugh it off. And I'm like, Flow State, you're not a man. You got no credibility, and you're showing that. Because then he tried to say, oh, you have to sit here and talk to old Joe first. That's the currency to get your one-on-one with me that you only came up for. I think he's a joke. I think and the
Yeah.
thing with Speakeasy, the first time that Speakeasy accused Flow State of ripping off his thing, I found Speakeasy in the comments of that video apologizing. Like, I didn't really say you were ripping it off. It's no beef, bro. And I commented to Speakeasy, no, you're in the right. Don't give this to him. He does rip people off. You are in the right here. Don't let him have it. And I still don't like Speakeasy, but what's right is right. And I've watched Flow State be a grifting, fake-ass YouTuber. I've watched him come up. He used to just sit in his work truck and join panels. Now he's acting like a couple of how-to YouTube videos. Now he wants to pretend he's a thing.
Isn't, Tommy, don't you feel like this isn't just like some pedestal pushing and weird YouTube celebrity status bullshit?
It's all those layers. There's the status. Yeah. There's the layers of people believing they're that. Then there is that you can get pulled into if you don't stay conscious. Like, I keep getting pulled back into YouTuber minded thinking when that's not what I'm here for. I'm just doing MySpace 3.0. And then you still got bitches spamming in the chat that have been given the link over and over again, but they're cowards and liars. And just like Goblin, I can put that I'm fun grifting in the title, and they try to expose me for what I put in the title. They don't understand the words they're using, and they don't want corrected on it, because then they can get held to how they're liars and grifters and oblivious, and they're playing this game. It's what I love about it, though.
And this is the last time I'm putting in the chat, because I gotta take the Bodie to his last day of school for summer school, and so we got about 20 minutes. So I have the link here. K, special ketamine K. Let's come up real quick. Say what's up. Say hi or speak your piece. It's already been what, about an hour and a half since we first gave you the link. But
so
if you're
to
busy,
go with
I guess you're busy.
To go to, well, yeah, she's so busy rattling it off in the chat. To go with what Ezra's asking, this is what I've tried to put the awareness. This is what my channel's doing, is some of these things are the isness, whether you recognize it or not. Like you as a host, NPC, you're eventually going to have a hater that will just spam in your chat but won't come up. And everyone has to understand what's happening to understand who's the lesser, who's failing in that instance. Like, there's people in Flow State's chat last night that even as I left, they're like, poor Tommy. Tommy's so angry, but they can't see as plain as day. That was a coward doing everything to avoid me and him one-on-one. And he wants to say he's more fair of a channel than I am. Kay and Goblin and all these people, I gave them full hours to come up. Let's work it out. Let's see if we're still friends. And they'll just stand on the card of, you're going to mod God me. You're going to not give me a fair shake. It's all I do. It's what I stand on in my life beyond YouTube.
And these people, honestly, Tommy, at the end of the day, they've drug you from the beginning. And you can stand, and you always have alone. Like, you do have that strength. You already have things that you've looked into yourself beyond some of these guys that we've talked about. And the momentum is like, it's time for you to start building your own and stand apart from these idiots who are.
But I think I do stand apart, but all my intention is ever since the State of the LARP trilogy I did, that was all about trying to get this community to realize this only goes as far as the chat shit lets it. And the chat shit
so you
foundation.
Can only lead the horse, right? You can only
right.
Horse
but I'm just trying to show them that the chat foundation, while it's where the poop lands and our bottom of our shoes are, it is the viewers. It is the foundation. So until that becomes a better thing and won't accept less than betterness from the community hosts, you're going to get this garbage. And right now, whether she acknowledges it or not, Special K is being the epitome of the garbage of the chat shit foundation.
You're still going to have to show it, Tommy. So get on your land and show these people and stand apart.
Well, the land is a different thing.
But this is
The
what I'm
land,
getting at. Like, what's the core of all of this that we all continue to talk about? We're griping about something that we're preventing ourselves from getting to. And I'm not going to get super public about it, but I'm 2 seconds away from getting my land, and you already have it.
okay, but let me ask you this: if you're just now getting land, because if you haven't had land,
Come on,
so you,
give me a
well,
break. I've been working
no,
for it.
listen, I'm not hating on you, but you're thinking
know, sorry.
yourself like, hey, I'm just trying to get the context of if you would have had land to see what I'm about to tell you, or if it's something I'm showing you to watch for. But over lockdowns and when I was originally homeless, K, as in against my will homeless, that's when I got my land. And because of a computer revamping they did in that county with the assessors and the taxation, all that, I was behind on taxes like almost $3,000 before they were starting to say, hey, if you don't pay this, we got to take it to auction. This year, and with all my stuff paid up, this year, what does she mean all lies? What you're doing in the chat? I know, because I do have issues with people, and those issues are out, and I'll admit to them. But
Yes,
this
I
year,
want to hear this. Yeah, tell me.
I
So
am this year, as in this year's taxes for 2024, that I'm late on paying them, but they were caught up until 2024. They're saying this year, if I don't have that shit paid by this October, now they want to take it to auction off this year's taxes being late. That's some own nothing type direction if I've ever
that's
seen it.
weird.
You
And that
should
came from the
watch for that
county?
with your land. Yeah.
That
Huh?
came from the county, that notification?
Oh, straight from the county tax guy. Yeah, and I'm gonna call
How
him.
many
Is today
acres do you
Thursday or
have?
Friday?
'Cause maybe we should
It's Thursday for you.
probably
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
offline.
So I'll probably
I might be able
call
to
him
help you
tomorrow.
get this. If it's tax based, you could probably be really, really quick to move to this sort of, non-taxable private organization terms. I'm trying to mumble, not to be like to be a little discreet, but you know what I've talked about. So
And that thing
looking
is
at
its thing.
nonprofit, NGO, or you're looking at PMA. Move to
But
this
even
quick.
to not do that,
by
even in the
yourself.
classic sense of owning land, you shouldn't be getting warned of going to auction the same year of the taxes you didn't pay. That's over the top shit.
And again, the notification came from the county, like they sent you a letter.
Straight up mailed in the mail, yeah.
Did they put a little like
it might not be the county assessor, but the state land tax guy sent it. I think he might even be here in Denver.
They still won't be able to move on it. Really, like this starts to get into like eviction policies and like because they don't know if
And
you're
I
actually
know that.
on land. Is it residentially zoned or
no? I
like,
can. No, it's outside of, it's like 30 miles from the nearest town and it has no utilities, but I got all that covered. But is what I'm saying is
so it's like recreationally allowed, like you're allowed to stay on it for a certain amount of time, right? Like allocation for
I can do whatever I want as long as I don't do any storage what is it, shipping box, shipping container. I can't do any shipping. No, if I do a permanent structure, I just need a leach pit septic. But as long as I don't do anything with storage or shipping containers, I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's so far out of out from everything. But is what I'm saying is, even though they may not take it to auction, they're just saying we could off of this year's taxes. That shit is insane to me, and I want him to tell me over the phone.
Yeah, that takes a while. Like, so this is an initial threat.
Well, they said the auction. It's got some stuff. I'll just talk more on it after I've actually called the guy, because I've already dealt with him one time when I was behind on taxes. But yeah, man, it's just so obvious this stuff is coming to America as far as owning nothing. What made America America was the fact we could own land compared to most countries. And then these truthers will say, well, you can never own land. But in the context that we can in our lifetime is what gave us the freedom, and their denial to believe or hear anything out is part of why we're losing a lot of this, because they don't know the system that society came from. and what made America better than living other places. And how they're getting rid of that has nothing to do with having the biggest army, because we are that world police army. That's how destroying us requires gender confusion and the destruction of the nuclear family and all that stuff. Oh, and an
I
emphasis
do
on
think we're going to
racial
see a
issues that
land
aren't
grab.
really issues.
Do you
Oh,
think
it's
we're going to see a
happening.
land grab? Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah, because
speaking of
at the same time, there's land realtors hitting me up about, can we buy your land? You know, it's an ongoing thing that I'm trying to share with whoever's listening on my channel and this one.
yeah, speaking of, we say racial issues. Yeah, on code 24/7
On code on that CPT.
is in the bid. He's in the building, brother. I've been waiting for you, bro.
On code
Man,
in the building.
You leave me alone with these people. No, I was kidding. No, this has been a great conversation. Ezra, I saw your comment back. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for coming up.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
thanks for coming up, Ezra. Like
Tommy,
through gritted teeth. Through the gritted teeth talk.
No, I appreciate the space. I thought you would appreciate my code of conduct here.
No, it's been a good talk. I agree, and I'm
Right,
glad On
right.
Code showed up because there was some things from their previous stream I wanted to make sure I could tell him before we were wrapped up here.
Yeah, so we got about no problem, bro. We got about what I got about 20 more minutes, about 24 minutes, maybe 5 extended after that for you soccer players. Yeah. So On Code, good to see you, brother. You okay?
Yeah, I had a day, man. I had a day.
Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah, well, we've been having a good comment. My good friend, my brother On Code. This is why don't you introduce my new friend, Tommy, Illuminati Tommy.
Illuminati.
Come on, that's what all the people say whenever they can't let it roll off the tongue. Illuminati Tommy. It's like IllumiTommy.
I just want to call you Thomas. I've been wanting to call you Thomas. A doubting Thomas.
That's fine.
Thomas.
I was Thomas most of my circles in Colorado because all my first friends were based off a job or an application where I'd write Thomas. So I've been Thomas out here a long time.
Say Capasa Tomasis. And Ezra, this is my good friend On Code. My new friend.
Hey.
You on code?
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
So pretty good. So let's see. Let's have the DC residents and the ex-DC resident area have a talk amongst
I was
yourself.
East Coast. The
East
thing
Coast,
about
yeah.
DC that takes me into some of the talk I had with a J6 guy, and there was some conspiracy afoot to J6. We might have to do a whole other stream about it coming up. I asked him, like, what logic did you have protesting in the one part of America that's not considered the 50 states? Like, that District of Columbia is very much not technically America in the corporate, and it caught him off guard. He'd never been asked that before, which is why Truth or Cop probably never would have got to it. And that was I don't even remember what he replied, but he said he would consider that in the future because, yeah, they did one of the biggest conspiracy approved revolts in a place that's technically not the 50 states.
So On Code,
So
you
what are
come
your
across
rights?
you did have some videos on that, right? Yeah.
Well, the thing you might be interested in On Code, and I can find the link if Truth or Cop still got it up. I'll find that interview that me and him like tag team interviewed this guy. He was in the front lines of the Trump speech, and then in the front of the line of the march down to the Capitol. So as the front line, he said, as they got down there, shit's already going down. There's already people hanging from stuff going on. And he said, as they showed up, the security for that building opened up some of the doors to the utility access and they just started handing out pillaging utensils like ladders and the things that they could use to climb on shit. And that right there is like, come on, people. Like, they were expecting you, they were inciting you to upheaval. Then you mix that in with the opening the door right this way, sir, and then a woman gets killed and all that. It's which way is up, trying to find the truth and things like that.
Yeah, and I want to say hello to our new friend. Don't judge me. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming up.
Hi, NPC. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you too. And for
I know
everyone,
it's
my name is my government name is Gabriel. Book of
Gabriel.
Yeah. So
okay.
so
I
that's
see it. Gabriel. Okay.
yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm Jen.
Nice to
You
meet
can
you.
call me Jen if you want.
Okay.
How far are you
Cool.
from wrapping this up? Because there's some key things I really wanted to hit on code with to maybe blow his mind or let him think
Okay,
about
we got 25 and I'm pushing it. Yeah. 25.
Okay,
You think
no,
you can
I'll
get it
just-
wrapped? Yeah.
No, I don't know where it'll go, but I'll just hit him with it now. Like, there's a lot of stuff I'd have to rewatch
Well,
that
this will.
stream.
Well,
You guys,
won't be. This won't be the last conversation. You know, I don't think it's going to be the last. But go ahead.
No,
There's a
'cause
lot
like
stream.
I
What were you
said,
saying?
now that we've done the headline, my interview, now I'm free to just come up any random stream you drop the link. I'll come up if I can contribute. But some of the stuff,
Tommy will take up the next 25 minutes.
no, that's why I hate you. Don't judge me. That's why I hate her. She makes me feel like a whore because she's probably thrown me the most money donos of some people and then challenges me with her trolly fucking bullshit like that. And then at the same time lets us point out she's one of the most oblivious, stupidest fucking people in this Panelverse. But there's a lot of stuff that you guys touched on that I want to eventually get with you about. But
yeah, I would appreciate that. I think
the thing I really wanted to hit on today, when you were talking about both racism and what are you supposed to do if you come around with a white woman for a wife or something, it's actually the racism that saves you in that, because there's different, just in the racist sectors, there's a number of mindsets you guys probably have never considered. Like, we can already say in the non-racist sectors, they just wouldn't care. They'd hopefully you and your wife love each other and that's why you're together. But even in the racist sectors, you'd be saved by that, because there's one racist school of thought that's on code ain't going to be taking up no white ladies we're worried about keeping. And I'll reference the guy that just got
but see,
the neon.
I think you might be staying corrected that it's your women that want the BBC.
I don't have women. They're not my women. We aren't on a team.
Women. I'm talking about your race, right? So
right, that ain't mine, bro. White doesn't mean shit to us.
Like the BBL thing, you're talking about, like
the BBC.
Big black.
Oh, sorry, I got that.
My black experience. Girls have called me N-word in bed. That's my black experience, and also the stop and frisk is my black experience. But no, like, let me run through these before you respond, because there's the one, like, what's the name of the guy that everybody revolted over, made the graffiti that got struck by lightning? That he was ODing as the cops had their knee on his neck and shit.
You mean George Floyd?
Yeah, George Floyd. Nobody is jealous of his white girl. Like, nobody looked at George Floyd's white girl like, man, I want me a white girl like that. So there's the racist school of thought of, like, you're not taking up white ladies that we are worried about. Then there's the racist school of thought of, if you married a white girl and she trusted and loved you, they're going to give you that benefit of the doubt, like he one of the good ones. And then there's another one where it's just like, then there's another racist school of thought that once a white girl partakes of black men, now she's written off as no good, she's garbage. So either way, if you were ever in love with a white girl, I would have no fear of camping up with it. It's you don't have nothing to worry about.
Okay, you're right. I don't have nothing. Okay, I don't have nothing to worry about, because it's we don't want your white girl. We don't want your bad white girls. Your baddest white girls are really turning into Instagram models. Right?
Tommy doesn't want
not gonna lie about that.
Hey, DJ, I'm sitting right here. You don't have to speak for me.
Okay, hold on.
I'm just saying, yeah.
All any of us can do is just say.
So what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the birth rates falling.
That's y'all's fault.
Huh? Hold on, Tommy. All
right.
So it would benefit the white women to get with a melanated, a black person. Let's keep it real simple. Why? Because if you stay racist, you go extinct. Do you comprehend that?
I don't know if when you say
No,
I
racist,
yes or
tried.
no,
we're
no, no,
You know,
no. Don't
I'm
give me
6'1".
the. Tommy,
I
Tommy,
tried with
Tommy,
a
Tommy, Tommy,
6'7".
Hold on,
Tommy.
Hey, you got 25 minutes. Let's lose the ladies. With all due respect, ladies, let's get it back to the
No.
original.
No.
Hey,
No.
on code. Chill, bro.
Hold on. One mic.
Yeah,
Hold
let's
on,
get
hold
it
on.
down to the original
Tommy,
three
Let's,
mics you wanted to start with. Let's get it down to the
Wait, hold
original
on.
three mics you wanted to start with. It's been a good run.
You stop, Tommy. I'm about
hold
to
on.
ask you a question. You about to get a chance to cook. I'm asking you a question. But I'm asking
Let me
you to
get-
simply say yes or no, sir.
Okay, go
Please
ahead.
just say yes or no.
I don't
If you're-
like the
hold-
simply yes or no
I
questions.
don't give a-
It's like
excuse
you're
me, sir.
it's like
Excuse
you're
me, sir.
trying to corner
Excuse
me
me, sir.
into agreeing to something with your
sir.
own
I'm not trying.
context.
Excuse me, sir. I'm politely.
You just want to
asking you.
learn?
Bruh. Can you mute Tommy Illuminati? Tommy Potty
On my
Illuminati?
interview, sure. Go ahead.
Yes.
Just like
yes.
hey, guys, one at a time. One at a time. So go ahead on code.
allow
That's
me
why I
to
wanted
ask
to get
the
us down to the
question.
original three you
Tommy,
wanted.
you're not gonna
Let's go.
talk me, Tommy. Just
I'm
be
not.
civil.
Peace out. Hold on. Ladies, I'm gonna have to get back at you again. I'm glad you came up and I appreciate you and we'll talk soon, okay?
Nice to meet you,
Thank you, Tommy.
Gabriel.
Nice
Yeah,
to meet you.
thank
Nice to
you.
meet you.
Bye, Tommy, you little punk.
See ya.
Okay,
Hey, go ahead on code.
Respectfully,
There you go.
Tommy.
One mic, guys.
Respectfully. I'm just asking for a yes or no. You just start your
Right.
sentence with the yes or no. If
I
your
won't.
birth rate, excuse me, sir, if your birth rates are falling and you remain racist, you go extinct. So would it benefit the black man to have a white wife, or would it benefit the white woman to have a black husband?
You started that with a false dichotomy. That's why I
Bruh,
can't just
you
say yes
refuse
or
to
no.
say yes or no. So
That's your Joe cooling me, bro. This is your
Bruh,
tactic
shit
that you
is
don't
the
even
birth rates
realize.
are falling. Look it up.
Do you know why the birth rates are falling?
No. You said it was false. You said it was false. I said
No,
they're falling.
you said our birth rates are falling and we need to
Let
decide
me say it clearly. Your birth rates are falling.
me as an individual or white
You
people.
as a Caucasian. Let's be
Okay,
simple.
that's not true.
Google it, bro.
Your birth rates are falling because the left has convinced the black community that the strongest, most way we can, the way we can respectfully on code, let me reply. Your birth rates are falling because the left has said to strengthen the black community, we must pepper baby deletion stations throughout their community.
You're literally Adam 22. Do you not understand what
No, I'm not literally Adam 22. I'm IllumiTommy.
in the face, but I bet any girl you get with Tommy, she would want to sleep with me. I don't care if she was smoking hot or 600 pounds. I could lay on top of her. Why? Because I'm black and she wants the BBC, right?
That's
one thing.
she gets the BWC.
Pause.
Oh, okay.
Now,
I thought I was the one that was gonna say me for like an hour, but you can show up late and take over. Go ahead.
You fucking right. You're not gonna get no white privilege.
That's why we're racist. It's not that we're racist against black. We're racist against your fucking attitude.
Bruh, racist against attitude is not. That don't make sense. You can't.
Right, because racism isn't a thing anymore. Your type is maintaining that.
Your white ethnicity is on the decline. You're not replacing the people that are passing away.
That's a natural mixing, but it has nothing to do with you thinking you can lay on top my old lady and not catch a bullet for it.
Tommy, you would catch a bullet just for being Tommy. I dare you to come where I'm at. I'd fly you out.
I'm from where you're at. I'm from where you're at.
Stop it, Tommy.
What do you mean stop? You think because you heard me go a little, you think because you've heard some things on YouTube, you got me all figured out?
No, Tommy. Is this the kid? Are you the one that got robbed? Were you
in
robbed?
what manner?
Were you relieved of your wallet and possessions by some black kids? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, I got maybe it was Pill Eater or one of the other.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're talking about, and if you knew the story and said it right, it would be me.
No, I'm asking you plain and simple. Were you relieved of any items from black kids?
Are you talking about the East Coast or in the Midwest?
I don't care if it was on Mars. Did some black people rob
But
you?
it matters. There's more than one situation.
That goes to show how weak you is, bro. That you done got
No,
robbed on
that's
East
your
Coast.
rap game bullshit.
I don't rap, homie. I'm telling you. In
No,
plain,
you're
simple
getting
English,
your view
you
off
got
of rap
robbed
albums.
on
You
the
think
East
I'm
Coast
weak
and
because
the West
you
Coast.
think
And
I'm
now
weak
you're
because
racist.
I keep talking. I'll wait for my
Thank-
turn. Yes,
thank you,
Amasa,
sir.
I'll wait for my turn.
Thank you, sir. Sit your relax.
Thank you,
got
Uncle.
robbed. You got robbed on the East Coast and the West Coast. So now you're racist.
No, not on the West Coast. Get it right.
You got robbed.
Do you know Midwest? Do you even know geography, bro? Or am I going to have to offend you on your level?
Listen, you got robbed in America on more than one occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're racist because you got robbed.
No, that's not. I'm not racist at all.
Tommy. So why
the home invasion? The home invasion was by white people who were in the family of the organized crime that I was inadvertently involved in, and I don't need you talking off of just this hearsay generalized bullshit. I came up here 2 hours ago ready to be civil with you, and you didn't show up, and now you show up to want to go at me. I'll go at you.
That's cool. I don't respect you, Tommy. I'll make you wait 24 hours and show up and disrespect you.
You don't respect me?
You, Tommy.
Oh, no. Okay. Then conversation over.
Well, get the fuck on, Tommy. Like, you not nobody. This is clout for you.
I've founded my YouTube thing off. I'm not nobody. I'm a Christian. I've never said I'm somebody.
Bruh, if you're a Christian, you're a golem. Adam was made of
a what?
You're a golem.
What's a golem?
Adam was made of clay and blew breath in his lungs, just like the mystic Jews do the golem, made of dirt and clay, the same way ISIS made Damu, made of dirt and clay. If you're a Christian,
that's you,
bro. You're a Christian, right?
Yeah.
You're a golem.
Yeah. Are you a Christian?
No.
Well, let me tell you, we come from the dust of the earth and to the dust we return. That's you.
You're a golem then. Dude, that's the definition of a golem. That's not a human being.
No, a golem is made by a magical warlock type magician thing, and it's AD&D rules. I don't know what you're even bringing it up about.
I'm bringing up it's Jewish Kabbalah mysticism.
I'm not in the Kabbalah. That's a Jewish thing.
This is your origin, though, right? You were Christian.
No, Christianity's origin is our God told the Jews they're doing it wrong.
Bruh.
Are you eating shrimp or something, man?
That still comes out of That still comes out of Judaism. So before
the Old Testament, yeah, the Old Testament. The difference between Judaism and Christianity is we acknowledge the New Testament, and they don't.
You think that got anything to do with your fucking origin story? What book you acknowledge?
I don't know where you're going with this.
Let me make it real short and simple. You're a golem. You're made of
I heard that part.
Clay.
Yes. So and I am nothing without the God above.
So, was it not the Elohim in your Bible? Because that's a Muslim word. Was it not the Elohim?
You're talking about the Nephilim?
No, I said very clearly, your Christian book says the Elohim blew breath in your dirt and clay, made your homunculus golem body. So the Elohim.
A golem, though, doesn't have free will and decision making. A golem is like you can make it to stand guard at something.
That's what you do for the black nobility. I'm hip to you guys.
No, I don't do this thing where you tell me what I do. I'll take the questions, but you can't say you do this and you're this. I don't even know you well enough to.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
So you got it all figured out, and yet you want to learn?
It's certain things I want to learn when I ask a question.
You're the one that's racist, dude.
No, I just don't like you, Tommy. How about that?
Yeah, you don't know who I am.
Right. I don't agree in like what you are from what I know.
How can you not agree if you don't know?
What do you mean? If I don't have to know where
You're saying you don't like me.
You asked me a question.
You asked me a question back.
Hold on. I'm trying to answer.
You ain't on par for this, bro. I'm already seeing I'm a couple steps ahead. You can't keep up with this.
In what way? I'm just not going to.
I gotta find out what that sound is, though, man. It's
what is
getting
that?
to me.
Let the mic on code.
I don't know. My mic. Well, I was walking around. Hold on, let me go back.
Yeah, it sounds like he's crunching through walnuts or something.
Grape nuts.
Yeah,
that's disgusting. I always think I want them until you eat them, and they're disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got about I got about 5 minutes, and it's cutting into my main mission. But I wish you could have came in earlier, bro. Because yeah, man, I don't have much time, man. I got up at 4 here. I got up at 4, and then we're ready to go at 5.
That.
Yeah, man.
Now that I know the time difference, if you ever plan a thing, even without me as like the headline, I would much more accommodate to your time.
Yeah. Normally I wouldn't have got this early. Usually we usually go at 9-10 East Coast time, right, on code? It's just that you had some other stuff you had to do, right? So yeah. Right, so here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing, bro. Like, I get what you're saying. I get what Tommy's saying, and like, maybe it's me because I'm like, I see both worlds, which is like a curse and a privilege, I guess. I hear conversations that quote unquote black people aren't privy to. I hear conversations quote unquote white people aren't privy to. And in the end, I'm coming to a point where, bro, this shit is like mind numbing. Both sides.
That's why I'm trying to show you to break it down to the isness. Like, if this dude wants to know what he's talking about, he'd want that back and forth. But he's already made up his mind about a thing. I've already given your previous conversation about me and that whole stream. I gave it the respect to listen to it all before I came here. And this dude's still operating off his presumptions. And he don't want to learn, like he says.
Bruh, I did want to learn. But it was
bruh
that I was going to ask you that I wanted.
Bruh. Don't address me as bruh.
You right. Okay, so Tommy IllumiTommy.
IllumiTommy or just Tom. You could just say Tom.
Yeah.
But when you say, how do I know you're not going to keep up with me? You're one of these people that have to say Illuminati Tommy.
In what way?
Like in a way that it obviously is a play on the word Illuminati, and you have to separate them and say Illuminati Tommy because you're slow.
No, the thing is, it's corny as fuck. That's why people get it wrong.
It is. It is. That's what I was shooting for.
I'm like the rest of the world that calls you Illuminati Tommy.
No, not the rest of the world, just the slow part of the world.
Nobody
like Sanity Machine.
Get it right.
People do respect me. You're playing a narrative. You're speaking for people that aren't you, and that's why I already don't like you.
That's cool.
Maybe you need to watch the previous rest of the stream that you were late for and maybe learn something.
Listen, I think it worked out. Life had a funny way of working itself out.
True.
I had to work late, right? That's cool. And I was late for the stream, but I'm glad because I know that pissed you off. I know you waiting and you feel like you
No, it didn't piss me off.
So hey, I'm just saying.
I'm the one that asked you to have you here because I thought I could show you something and you don't care.
I feel bad.
Just narrate. Just give the narrative of why it's good that you didn't show up, blah, blah, blah. You're being ego, bro. This is the ego all over the Panelverse. Your ego.
Tommy. So you don't have ego, Tommy?
I fight it, but I see when you're doing it.
Yes or no, bro? You think you slick? Yes or no? Do you have ego?
I don't think I'm slick. I know what I know, and I know that you're Joe Cooling, where you want to play your little yes or no games when reality and truth cannot be summed up to yes or no.
Joe Cool.
You know who Joe Cool is? The cop watcher?
Yeah, you know who he is. He's on the Panelverse. He's like basically.
He's got a big channel.
one of the only black guys on the panel. But he he has 140K.
There's a lot of black guys in the Panelverse.
I don't see him. Yeah, I don't see him. Yeah. But I'll take your
But
word for it. You've been in here longer.
but the thing about
what we doing here?
Nothing. We can end it. But I'm saying the thing he's doing that Joe Cool does is he likes to frame a question and demand that you say yes or no because it limits your response and it makes him corner you into what he wants to be right about. It's a common tactic.
Begin with yes or no. All I said was start with yes or no.
Right. When you demand a yes or no and then frame a question away, that's all strategy. It's not really getting to the truth.
But when you decide to spit up that word salad and not make a point with just a bunch of run-on sentences, that's just as
I do
rude.
make points.
You make points in your mind. I'm telling you, the way you convey
See, that's narrative. If you can't follow the points I make, if you can't follow the points I make, that's how I know you're not going to be able to catch up with me.
Hold on. So if you make a
I know, I'll slow down. I'm slowing down for you.
Slow your punk ass down. You're right. If you make
I am. I'm way up here. You can't catch up. You keep saying, hold on, I'm waiting.
Okay, I'm about to look back at it. I'm gonna tell you how you think you slick. If you have a product that the market doesn't respond to, is it narrative that the market doesn't respond to your product, or is your product not good enough to get the market to respond to it?
You're playing the yes/no game. My narrative is not responded to because
one time.
No, Steve isn't Joe Cool. You're saying I'm dancing. You're saying I'm dancing around. I'm respecting you to answer your question, and you want what you want, which is not the answer you're gonna get.
No,
I don't
you're
respect
not giving
you.
an answer. You're not giving
I am. You don't let me before you cut in, and then you'll let your boy say one mic, one mic.
That means you get muted, homie. You don't got no seniority over here. That means you get muted.
This is our show and this is my channel. However, Tommy's a guest as well. This is an interview, bro. Like, I get it that you have points of contention that you need to get at him for, and he needs to respond, or he doesn't need to. He can do whatever he wants. But the point is, he's a guest here, and I get what you're saying. And I'm not muting anybody. I've never done that before, and it's time to go. I gotta go. sorry, guys. I gotta take my son to school. I
the hardest job in the world, being a father.
Okay, Bill Burr. Yeah. It is.
All right, I'll see you.
We'll definitely do this again. Don't worry, you'll see me again, Tommy. I love you.
I don't think I will. I'm not going to be around much longer.
Yeah, he's gonna go do his adventure.
Is what you need to do is if you ever get this chance again, make the most of that time instead of trying to play these games I have to put up with other people.
The clock is ticking, Tommy. It makes sense.
Okay, let's do this. Final words. That's what we usually do on the show.
Yes, sir. You can go first, Tommy.
I'll just back out. A lot of people do final words. My words are ongoing.
Yeah. You don't have to leave, like literally get off the panel or whatever, but actually I gotta go. Either way.
Yeah, you gotta go do your thing.
Me. Yeah, like you respected me, let me leave. You can do that. And
just remember this.
Go ahead. Oh, he left me hanging. Oh shit.
No, that probably was an accident.
Yeah. On code, you have any last words, brother?
My deepest apologies, right? I got held up in my main mission.
Okay.
But I'm completely saddened that you got up so early. That genuinely hurts my feelings, right?
I feel you on that. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
As far
but like you said, everything works the way it works, right? You said we had a chance to talk. You gave him the Tommy Illuminati interview, and then you had, your.
I'm glad he had his time to cook because we would have just argued for 2 hours.
Yeah, and he was cooking too. He said some good stuff, but really good stuff. So, but I'm glad you came by at least to give us a prequel. Not prequel. What do they call that? Preview. Right?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get Tommy. We're gonna get back to Tommy. I like that. I like Tommy because right before we go, those type of people like to control the conversation and kind of dominate where the dialogue goes, maybe by over talking you or being long winded. And I'm not going to allow him to do that. So you probably gonna have to mute us. You probably gonna have to mute me.
Nah, I mean, yeah. I
I
think
need a
like you said, we
referee. You're
both
gonna
do
have to
that.
mute me. You're gonna have
We
to mute
both
me.
we all do that. You just admitted to doing it yourself. You said that he does it. The point is like, I guess we can attempt to have like let one person talk, let one other person talk. But if you can't do that, I don't know, man. I might have to do that on your channel because like I don't really like that shit, bro. Like I like that, you know. I'm not like that Ronnie King. Like, can we all just get along? But it's like, bro, it's just like I'm over that shit. Yeah,
Yeah, no, like I say,
yeah,
I'm glad he had his interview so he can kudos, right? I'm glad he had his interview. But once I
yeah.
seen how we interacted, we just gonna clash. I'm glad I didn't have you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning for me and him to argue in your ear for 2 hours.
True enough. So yeah, like you said, everything works out. And I think though, if you could still have that passion, that fire, that vitriol, even hatred for somebody you're having a discord with, but I think you can still keep it like one person talks, the other person talks, and like, but we shall see. Anyway, it's good to
You
see you.
Yes,
Huh?
sir. Yes, sir. I was saying you right. I
Well,
just I feel like
to me, it's not that serious, but that's me. I can't
no,
tell what
no,
you
no,
feel. Yeah, yeah,
no. I agree with you. I
yeah.
just feel like if I ask, like, if I say, well, yes or no, and you like, well, I refuse to say yes or no, then it's like you kind of creating a point of contention, right?
Right, right.
So it's like, okay, then it's like, if I ask you a question, it's like, well, if I say, well, are you in the house? Well, yesterday I went to the park, and today I'm thinking about. It's like, bro, are you in the house, right? Like, don't give me that long walk. Don't.
Mm,
So
yeah,
I don't know. I apologize. Let me offer my public. I apologize to you, sir. My deepest apologies.
it's all good. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I don't apologize to Tommy. Tommy could have waited in the rain. Tommy could have waited in the
Yeah,
cold.
yeah. I that's brutal. That's ruthless, as they say in Chicago. I have to say this. I'll apologize to Tommy in terms of this platform because like I'm not one to have like debates like the Andrew Wilson or whatever Jerry Springer shit. But you're a guest, and I'm glad you came. And I appreciate everyone that showed up in the chat. Most of them are all Tommies. This was like a big show. We had a lot of people here. And on Code, I'll see you soon. I'll talk to you soon. And Tommy, I'll talk to you. And good luck on your ruthless adventure. This has been the Tommy Illuminati broadcast. Get it up. Get my boomer shit. Tommy Illuminati interview, all right, with the on code 24/7 1-2, as we say. And we'll see you next time. And I'm gonna play this video. I made this intro for Tommy. I don't think you saw it. A lot of his footage. So peace. Talk to you soon, bro.
Yes, sir. Talk to you soon, my guy.